Anyway.
All right.
Oh, this is going to be a fucking weird podcast today, isn't it?
You can always tell,
Mm.
can't you? When you like walk in the room and then it's just like, first thing you said to me was something, "Now I'm really sorry, but I've been ripping farts." I was like, oh great, you got the aircon going too, so it's going to be worse.
Yeah, man. Just really warm them up. All right, enough of that shit. Literally, I won't do another one.
Thank God.
All right, ready? Got your vape.
Yeah, mate. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Nice, man. Good day, everybody, and welcome to the House of Mario, the South Australian Nintendo podcast that is backed by 120 Power Star rating. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and the doors to episode 194 are open. This week on the show, we're covering up some things that we might have missed last week that came out after the whole Nintendo Direct that happened. Very exciting stuff. But not too much. Pretty light week as far as news goes, so it'll be up to Bryce and I to bring us through the show. No bloody Nintendo marketing to keep us excited. Is there, Bryce? No.
It was all last week.
It was all last week, wasn't it?
It was all last week.
It was. Yeah, no direct this week. If they had a direct every week, what do you reckon they would announce every week? They'd be like, yes, it's the week of Luigi this week. And it's like, oh, we got some pins coming out with Luigi's head on it. We're like, oh, fantastic. Let's buy some of that.
Eventually, they'd run out of like marketing tool that they would have to like start creating some really weird shit.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, guess what? We got a Game & Watch for every pixel of every game. So there's 1,000 million of them coming out.
Yeah. You're gonna collect them all, and then you're gonna stack them together.
Yeah, remember those? Not really Tamagotchis, but they'll kind of like Tamagotchis with like the screen. You got to look after a person. You can stack them together. I never had any, but
No, yeah.
that wasn't that cool.
No, it wasn't. No, it was a bit weird, especially since Tamagotchis were pricey, man.
They were, weren't they?
They're pricier now, but they were pricey then too.
Yeah. Anyway, talk a little about that as my good mate. It's Bryce DeWitt.
Yeah, finally got to it.
Yeah, finally got to it. A bit of a conversation there. So this is going to be a bit of a weird episode. We're talking about it before we started recording. Like, both in weird moods. We got something going on here. Don't we, Bryce? He just nods on an audio podcast. Yes.
That's right.
He says yes. So
Yeah.
that. So how you been? So it's taken me probably most of the week to finally get over having my all-nighter for E3. Here in South Australia, E3 took place at 1:30. That's when the Nintendo Directs happened. But afterwards, we recorded the podcast. I got it posted. By the time it was posted and it was all done, it was 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, right, going to work. And the next day, after I had like a full night's sleep, I felt awful. It just hit me like shit. And like I get really tired about 5 o'clock. And then when it gets 12 o'clock, I wake up again. It's been really bad. So hopefully tonight I'll go to bed after we record this. Be nice and perky for tomorrow. But did it knock you around? This is one of the signs where I'm just like, I'm getting old. Getting really old.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
I think like I'm used to sleepless nights, but yeah, something about E3 week, like, you know, I stayed up for the Xbox conference and all that as well. It just...
Did you? Wow.
Yeah, and I watched half of what was the abysmal of the Square Enix conference, so... Yeah, just shit like that, I think, just drove me to madness.
Yeah.
I'm so tired, man. I don't want to think about E3 this week anymore.
Yeah, well, I didn't stay up for the Xbox one. I waited till the morning to watch it because, yeah, I wasn't doing multiple of those in a week. You know, especially I feel sorry for the people that stayed up for like Square Enix. I thought Square Enix's was fine.
I fell asleep during Square Enix's. I got halfway through it, and like halfway through it was literally like at the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy bit, and I woke up in the morning and I'm like,
it's just the start too.
I'm like, yeah, I better catch up on it, and then it turned out to be like a huge disappointment. So yeah, sucks really.
Yeah, I think I didn't really expect anything from the ones that weren't Nintendo and Microsoft. The other ones I really didn't expect anything from. So like Square Enix, so yeah, that was fine. They did some deep dives on some games I'm looking forward to playing. But yeah,
There's a problem with E3 and going overboard with information though. Like, it's the same argument that people had with the Smash Brothers portion, and even we were like,
yeah,
you know, that 1 year it was like 30 minutes of Smash stuff and like a fucking hour-long direct.
yeah. 2018, we're like, oh, like we're just hyped for Smash. Can't wait to see more. Then they give us like 40 minutes. Like, all right, like
Yeah, that was too much.
yeah, it was like
Waste of time.
But I guess they had nothing else to fill that time, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but they could have just not had that time then. They could have just done a normal ass direct. They're like, Falco now fucking touches his boots faster or some bullshit when he crouches, and yeah.
Yeah, they literally said like stuff like that, didn't they?
It was stupid. And then like, you know, with the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff at the Square Enix conference, it took out like half the time, and it was literally just them playing through like a portion of the level. Like, fuck off, please. It's like, you know, Avengers didn't go down well, right? So people were like, oh, Guardians of the Galaxy. They're like, oh, yeah, it looks good, but I don't have a lot of faith in you guys after what happened with the Avengers game.
Yeah.
And then they showed fucking half an hour of it and left another half an hour to stuff where it's like, oh, yes, we're doing a Final Fantasy 1-6 collection that's only for Steam and mobile, and everybody collectively lost their shit because they're like, this is fucking stupid.
That was pretty unfortunate because they just did it like, you know, Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 2. Like, oh my God, they're doing it in collection. It's going to be mad.
Steam and mobile.
Steam and mobile's up. It's like, those are the platforms where I'm just like, I don't want to play old Final Fantasy games on there.
No. And then Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Why?
Looks pretty rough, that game.
It doesn't only look rough, but why did they change the Warrior of Light into some like casual clothed fuckboy? I don't get it. Like, you look at the original design of the Warrior of Light, and like in Final Fantasy 14, they just had like a big like lore drop about the Warrior of Light, like it's actually pertinent to the game, and it was really cool and like really well thought out. But then you've just got this guy that's just like, I'm here to fight chaos. He's just like, chaos. He's like, I want to kill chaos. There's a whole, I'll play the video for you later. It's great. It's just like a guy like reenacting the voice, but chaos has done like all these things. It's like, chaos killed my wife and fucked my dog, and then recorded it and saved it as an MP4 in my cloud storage.
Jesus Christ.
Shit like that. It's just, well, it's all that anybody could think about is just how fucking ridiculous. But like, you know, that was that. And then, you know, the other conferences, a lot of people were like pissed off about Capcom's. I'm like, Capcom kind of have enough under the wheel at the moment anyway that they don't really need to put out anything else.
Yeah, they just released Monster Hunter Rise, Resident Evil 8, or Village. They got Monster Hunter Stories 2 that they're showing a million trailers for. So, you know, a lot of the big hitters have already come out. They typically don't really do like a big sort of holiday game.
Yeah, exactly.
So they don't have anything coming out. They've already sort of released their bigger stuff. So I actually didn't watch Capcom's or...
No.
Yeah, I didn't watch like Gearbox or anything like that. I hear didn't miss much. But.
No, I there was one cool thing out of the summer game fest, which was Tiny Tina spin-off for Borderlands, which should be pretty good, based on the Assault on Dragon Keep, which was a Borderlands 2 DLC, and everybody really, really loved it.
Right.
So it should be quite good. You know, like there was things like that. There was like a battle royale that was like set in Edo, Japan, with like Sekiro-esque grappling hook mechanic and all that, which looks cool. You know, so there's some decent things there, just not really all in one conjectured place at one time. Some companies were just like, we don't really care this year. We don't really care. Here's what we've got going on. Here's what will be going on, like very briefly, like Resident Evil DLC for Capcom and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, cool. Why not?
Yeah, so I think like all in all, I reckon E3 was actually quite good. Like it wasn't like the best year. I know like a lot of people are upset about it and like saying it was a bad year, but I reckon it was quite fun. I mean, it's good just having it back. I missed it so much last year.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, just obviously with COVID and just how it was spread out over Summer Game Fest. I hated it being spread out. I just like, even if they're announcing stuff I care about, I'm like, you know, I don't care. I'll just hear about. I just read an article on it. I'm not gonna tune in like some random Wednesday and be like, oh, I guess Sony are doing something or Xbox doing something. I don't care. Like unless it was Nintendo when they said, oh, we're doing the Mario 35th year anniversary direct. I'm like, I care about that. But that's like the only event throughout the year I actually cared about.
Yeah, that's right.
Like I even watched Ubisoft's. And like I'll never tune into a Ubisoft event outside of E3 because I just, their games don't typically appeal to me apart from obviously Mario plus Rabbids.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But I think it was a good year.
I think that I summarized this year with a pretty decent quote. Last podcast session, I guess, which was this year was not about the big hitters. It was about a lot of niche hitties coming back, which they did, and it all looks pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah, especially on Nintendo's front. Like a lot of those games are from titles we got on 3DS in 2017. Like another 2D Metroid by Mercury Steam, another WarioWare. We've got Advance Wars coming back. That was from the DS. Like they're typically franchises you expect to see maybe on Nintendo handhelds. So that's why they aren't like big graphical showcases or whatever compared to your 3D Mario or like a big Fire Emblem game or Zelda. We obviously saw Zelda, but it's more of a teaser than them showing anything.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So Bryce, before we move on, you bought some drinks.
I did.
With us. Have you had these before?
Yeah.
Cool. And what are they?
Sochu.
Yeah.
So
what exactly is sochu? Is it like a?
It's a Japanese spirit of some kind. I can't really tell you much more than that.
Okay.
This is mine minus 196. Really interesting how they make this.
Right.
So you've got a mix of sochu and vodka in there and soda, but the lemon. The reason it's called minus 196 is because they freeze the lemons at minus 196 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
And then they crush them into a powder and then infuse them into the spirit.
Yep.
Yeah. So and it actually tastes like legitimate lemon, not like if you like poured lemon syrup in something.
Right. Okay.
It tastes it's really good actually. It's quite nice.
All right, let's give it a crack.
Yeah.
So I haven't had it before.
It's quite nice.
Sounds like it's going to be nice. Just lemon.
It's pretty good.
Lemonade.
Yeah.
Yeah, tastes like a lemonade.
And tastes like fresh lemon.
Like an authentic one. I will say, this is just for maybe the people watching the video, but also for the audio listeners. My tripod for my camera is currently getting fixed. So my camera is just sitting on a shoebox.
Yeah.
And we've currently got Wacko Jacko in the stream, and he's saying, "Is there an earthquake?" And that's because Bryce is banging on the table with his arms when he's talking.
I'm waiting to say it. No, I'm waiting to say it. A lift and come. Yeah, there we go. Ha ha ha! Yes, yes, I see it. Beautiful. Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
I just thought I'll bring it just to let Bryce know, not to shake the camera so much. It's all right. It is what it is. It's not a very stable setup at the moment.
I'm sorry, mate. Jesus, I'm just trying to do my best. I'm here to do a podcast. Fucking tearing into me.
Oh, look, mate.
Earthquakes.
Look, mate. It's all right. It's all right, mate.
Beautiful.
Not so much used to earthquakes down this end of the country, are we? Or in this country at all, really? We're not on the fault line.
We feel them from time to time, though.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever felt one.
There's definitely been a few here.
Guess you're the one making them, so I guess you will feel them. Banging around.
Wow. Rude. Anyway.
So, Bryce, we've had a little bit of time with Game Maker Garage on Nintendo Switch. Came out...
Game Builder Garage.
Maker Garage.
I have to correct you with that.
Yeah, well, like I said. Look, you fed me this 6% vodka drink.
I know, yeah.
Now you want me to host the rest of the show.
Yeah, well, you're stuffed now, aren't you?
Yeah, you've bloody stitched
up.
It's
a 1.6. It is a smaller can than usual, 1.6 approx standard drinks. Apparently, Henry said when he was in Japan doing shows, they had this in vending machines. Like, you could just buy it. And but they were like 500 ml cans.
Jesus.
So... You think of it like 500 ml cans of that, and that's over 2 standard drinks per can, and they were pretty cheap too.
Right.
Yeah. Pretty good standard for alcohol in Japan, my friend.
Yeah. Anyway. So yes, we've been playing Game Builder Garage. We both received a copy from Nintendo Australia, so thank you very much for providing the code. And Bryce, he is reviewing it on dashgamer.com, which he will be a review up later this week, I believe.
Yes.
Yep. So I haven't spent a whole lot of time with it. I spent about 4 hours just going through tutorials and stuff, checking out some people's creations online. You're able to post codes and trial other people's creations on that. Bryce, how much time have you played with the title?
Oh, about 10 hours, yeah.
About that?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah.
Yep. And how are you finding it so far? You've also played with your 5-year-old daughter as well, so you've had a
That's right, yeah.
fairly different experience.
Yeah, so I mean, I booted up the game, did some of the tutorials myself, but then I was kind of like, it's the same thing with Mario Maker where you're just like, all right, enough of learning. I want to make things.
Mm-hmm.
So, you sort of get into it and do some exploring and stuff like that. And I made a level with my daughter, which will be posted in the review. So you can go and play a game that she and I made together. It was only very small, sort of enough time to sort of keep her attention.
Shigeru Miyamoto will be like, "Oh god, I'm out of a job. This is awesome."
She does want to play more too. So she wants to actually make more, which is cool. Yeah, speaks volumes for the game, really, especially for a $50 title.
Yeah,
so that's good. It's pretty good, and I like from the perspective of like an actual game builder, like it's got a very like easy learning curve to a really high ceiling of skill in terms of game creation. Just within a week, like there'd been people that had made like a recreation of Super Hot in Game Builder Garage. I saw just earlier today that somebody had made a Minecraft clone in Game Builder Garage. Yeah, so like the actual power of the tool is,
The most exciting one I saw was a Super Mario Kart sort of clone for a track as well.
Yeah,
there's just like a fair bit of
a lot you can do with it.
Yeah, interesting stuff in there, which I didn't really expect because like it does say that like the tutorials are about building like specific games, and you basically go step by step how to make those games. So are these games, are they based off their own sort of mechanic, or are they all based off of these games that are already in the game? Or can you like build your like very own game from scratch? Or do you have to use like sort of a base from these other games that you're able to build from?
No. So I guess the best way to explain it is that, nodons are a central focal point for everything, and it is really dependent on how you use specific nodons to do what. If that makes sense, I suppose. You can make some pretty gnarly shit just with some general knowledge as it is. And the tutorials, I don't know how much of them you played or whatever.
Yeah, probably like 4.
Okay.
Something.
Yeah. So, showing like the basic building blocks of like specific games in the tutorials, there's, you can see where things sort of slot together and stuff like that. But some of the stuff that people create, they just go above and beyond, and you can open their programming map at like any time you're playing them, and seeing just like how people are slicing things together to make specific things. You're just like, that's really creative. It's on a level of complexity that's like some of the people that make Mario Maker levels and stuff like that, and just know the engine and the mechanics down to a fault. With this, you don't really know the mechanics in the engine down to a fault, so you have to rely on learning. But because it is a game builder that you do from like absolute scratch, better not do that.
Don't do a Drew. Don't spill your drink.
No, from absolute scratch, it is quite easy to pick up if you're willing to set the time in to learn it, I guess. Like it's good. It's really, really good on that level. But if you don't have a passion for building games, you're not really going to care too much for it.
Yeah,
it's not like Mario Maker where user created content is the driven focal point of the game. You playing games in Game Builder Garage is largely down to, your interest in making them.
Yeah,
yeah.
Would you recommend? Because I haven't been able to do any of the actually play any of people's user generated content because you've got to finish all the tutorials first. It seems like
no, you don't. No. You only have to finish the first one.
Do you? Because I'm still locked out of it.
Yeah, no, you only have to finish the first one.
Okay.
Promise you.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I went and did the first one, and then I went and checked out some music creator levels, then went back to the tutorials.
Okay, gotcha. Because I'm still locked out in mine. I've done 3 or 4 for whatever reason.
You're doing something wrong there, my friend.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been able to try any of that stuff. But if someone did pick it up and say, I just want to try some stuff that's made up by users, would you recommend that? Is it worth it trying out some
for $50?
Because you get some like fully made indie games with that money.
Yeah,
really, I guess. So.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, like, you know, $50 is a bit of a price point, and you've really got to have an interest in what's going on, you know. And I think that's the primary point of it is like Game Builder Garage for $50 is really good for a game builder tool. That's you know a better price point than I'd ever expect Nintendo to put on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But if you're getting it just to go, oh, let's look at people's weird creations in Game Builder Garage, you're not going to find anything, I guess, too flavorful, if that makes sense. Like, it is very interesting to see how people make particular things work in Game Builder Garage. But you're gonna have a care for game design, I guess.
Yeah.
I reckon that's it.
Yeah, it seems like a good entry point as well. Like, I know, like with say Game Builder Garage, it's on Switch. You know, a kid might have it or whatever. And more recently, Apple announced that you can make games on iPad with Swift. Then you can submit them straight to the App Store from your iPad, so you can do all of that on that as well. And it has sort of like tutorials and how to like fix problems and how to code and all that. So there's getting more and more options to learn this type of stuff. Even on PlayStation with Dreams, you've got some quite powerful tools on there as well. So it's good to see, like, if you seriously do want to create video games, there's a lot of ways to get out there and learn, and eventually, download Unity or one of these game engines on your PC and
I think that's
really make something.
I think it's important to note that Game Builder Garage is nothing like Dreams.
Yeah.
Like, it is very different in how it operates. There's a lot you can sort of do with it, but Dreams can be extremely powerful.
Yeah,
like as a content driven game developer game, I guess. And Game Builder Garage is not that. It's very basic on a fundamental level, but it does offer guidance. Which guidance and ease, I should probably say. So that makes it a little bit, I guess, approachable for children is probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, this is definitely probably the more friendly one for younger audiences.
Yeah,
which I dare say it's targeted that.
My main concern with the game is that its tagline is "Learn to make games with the minds at Nintendo."
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep. That's a very powerful statement. And when you're putting out a statement like that, you think, oh, well, you're going to teach me how to make Mario Kart or, Mario or Zelda or Pokemon or something like that. But it's nothing like that.
It's like what I said. I expected like a Skillshare session with Shigeru Miyamoto or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, could you imagine that being like, instead of these little games, which I know is probably better for like teaching someone the very basics, but if like they had like Mario Kart 8 running and then it just paused, then all the code came up, it showed what controls, like does your controls and everything, and actually breaks down actual games on the Switch. I know that would be way too far for like most people, but that'd still be really awesome to see how it's like, learn from the minds of Nintendo. This is what is really driving in the background. Breath of the Wild. This is what is driving Mario Kart 8. This is how the cap mechanic works. How you transfer to other characters and how we get that to work seamlessly. And that could be actually pretty interesting. But it won't happen.
No, that's right. And if that's what it was about, and they had all these assets from Mario and stuff like that in there, it wouldn't be a $50 game.
Oh no, of course not.
That being said, you can create your own assets. So if you want to make Mario, you can go nuts. it doesn't really matter. But
Yeah.
you have to make those things yourself.
It's like in Dreams. I just loved watching compilations of all the Mario 64 clones and all that. And people did it really well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like getting the physics was the hardest thing, but just like the actual presentation and the graphics looked absolutely fantastic. What some people could wrangle up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can't do 3D models in Game Builder Garage. You can only do sprites if you want to do that. That type of thing. But I think I think the most important thing about Game Builder Garage at the moment is that it needs more engines. So it needs RPGs, etc. Turn-based RPG engines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that people can make more unique sort of things, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's just Nintendo's, they're coming at it from a point like, we want to teach you the basics, and then if you get that, you're like, this is fun, you're going to move on to your computer. That's what they're looking for. Whereas Dreams was like, we want this to be a community of people putting content into our servers. People can download it, play it, and share, create, and all that type of thing. But yeah, this is pretty different. Do you reckon you'll be heading back to it after you've done the review? Has it sort of like made you scratch your creative bug or anything like that? Or?
Well, Evie wants to make more things, so I'll probably do things with her. But I think that is the drive of it for me. When I was asked to do the review, which was a few weeks before the game was slated to launch, I basically said, well, yeah, I'll do it. And I took it under the premise that I would do it with my daughter because she's interested in video games, and not that I want to drive her career or anything towards video games or what have you, but she seems to have a genuine interest in video games themselves. So I figure, well, she's a very creative kid. This might be a new way to sort of introduce her into creating some more different things.
Yeah.
And she got a little bit bored with it to begin with. But there is a lot of waggling around just to try and make things work. But when she saw it all come together, she was like, oh, that's really good. Yeah. Yeah. Her game is called Save Nyan Cat. It's one level. It's one level.
You've been sending me a lot of videos too of your daughter playing Hatsune on Switch as well, the rhythm game.
Yeah.
How did she get it? Did she just see it on your Switch and go, I like that character, and start playing it?
No.
How
She.
did she find it? I'm just curious because
YouTube.
I love that game as well. Yeah.
YouTube. Yep.
Who's playing it on YouTube?
No, she just found Miku on YouTube, and then I said,
Oh.
I have a Miku game.
Oh,
And she's
gotcha.
like, can we play the Miku game? I'm like, yes.
Cool. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
So-
She's really into it. She's found like her favorite Vocaloid song in the last couple of days, so she's been playing that non-stop. And now she wants to draw Miku. So I'm like, all right, well, tell you what, we'll print out some pictures, get you some tracing paper, and you can go hog wild.
That's really sweet. I love that.
Yeah, she's really into it.
I love hearing about your daughter, or
She's
like getting into this stuff.
She's really creative, that kid. Like, she loves drawing. She loves playing video games. She loves making video games. She's very artistically driven and, loves artistic things. And as we have come to realize in the last decade is that video games are very much an expression of art form. And so she's definitely fallen into that camp of, video games are great. The things around them are great, and they're a passion to be celebrated, I suppose.
Just wait till she's 16. She'll be like, I don't care, Dad. I just want to be the cool one at school.
No, I don't think that'll happen with her. She's very much a free spirit. Yeah. She likes what she likes.
Yeah.
And that's good. And I hope she holds on to that.
I hope she does too, but we'll see.
Because that's what we did too.
We'll see.
We like Pokemon. We held on to that shit.
We did.
Like Nintendo, we held on to that shit.
We held it on.
And we're from a small country bumpkin town where they're just like, that's for nerds. So,
Sure is.
yeah,
We're-
much harder to be in the hobby that we're in here than it is in, say, a city, if that makes more sense.
No, we can just blend in the city. Whereas here it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, here we don't blend in at all. We're just like, oh, you do that podcast, Drew, and you're like, yeah, I do that podcast. And what is it again? What's it about? Nintendo. Bloody Nintendo games. You fidgety with your controller thingy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
we
like,
do.
oh, yes. And then you get people that were like, our age or whatever, they're just like, oh, Nintendo. I'm a PlayStation person. Nintendo sucks. So that's
Fair
your
enough.
prerogative.
So fair enough. I'm a PlayStation guy too.
Yeah, that's right. It really doesn't matter. It's what you enjoy, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like even like throughout the years, that's never really changed, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, what are you currently playing, Drew? I'm playing Super Game Maker.
Super Game Maker, Jesus Christ.
I'm just...
It wasn't actually just thinking about it, like thinking about even just Pokemon. Like it wasn't until Go where people were like, yeah, Pokemon's not that bad.
Nah, I noticed like year 11 at school, people just like, you know, started coming at me like, you know what? Pokemon's cool. I loved it when I was in primary school. I'm like, oh, good. I've been playing it the whole time. I don't have to not tell you anymore. I've told the story before, but when someone came in the Target when I was buying Pokemon Pearl, I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
so
I
I hit it. Then when he left, I went and bought it. It's like, fucking hell, who gives a shit if I'm buying the Palkia game?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Love Palkia.
you feel subconscious when you're a kid because you want to fit in, and that's like the problem.
Yeah.
Whereas you know, while it's not as prevalent these days, now that we're adults and we can actually form a coherent thinking, you know, there's still always that stigmatism in the background.
Oh well. I don't care too much, Bros.
No, I don't anymore either.
Every now and again I'm on Facebook like, hey, I'll do a Nintendo podcast, and everyone ignores it. It's like, that's cool.
That's why I don't go on Facebook anymore. It's not worth it.
Because I ignore your Nintendo podcast.
Because I just don't give a shit. Does anybody really give a shit about what's on Facebook anymore?
Nah.
No.
I always get friend suggestions from women all the time. Like, so, oh, you should be friends with this person. I don't know who that is. And it's never a man. It's always some 22-year-old woman. It's like, what are you trying to do to me, Facebook? Half of these profiles are fake anyway. Stop trying to suggest me friends. I don't want to be friends with people on Facebook. I don't think I've added a person on Facebook for years.
No. I remember your Facebook list was pretty full though. It was like 400 plus people or something. Your Facebook was pretty large of larger people. I don't think mine's ever gone over 120. Because I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Especially when Messenger came out, I was kind of like, oh yeah, Messenger's cool. It's just like, okay. So I started using that, and then like the rest of Facebook just slowly phased out over time because I'm like, fuck, this is bad. Planking is shit. We talked about that last week too. Oh, what a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure everyone's like, you know what, Facebook sucks, but still use it every day.
Now, there's a lot of people that do for sure, but
yeah,
I'm not one of them.
No. So you've been playing anything else, Bryce?
No.
Apart from you just been
Final Fantasy.
playing that super duper maker game.
Yeah. Super Maker Garage Builder.
Yeah.
Where you build garages.
Game Builder
Deluxe.
Garage.
That's the whole title.
Deluxe. Yeah, I believe that.
Super Duper Garage Maker, the game where you build garages, Deluxe. That's the full title.
Just you wait till the next Nintendo console. We'll be getting that.
No. No. I don't want it.
No.
I don't want it.
No. Well, fair enough.
You can leave it.
Leave it to who? Superman?
Leave it to Beaver.
Yeah, Beaver.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not Beaver, Beaver.
Beaver, yep.
Leave it to Beaver.
Yeah, fair, whatever you're saying. All right.
You know how to leave it to Beaver?
No.
There you go.
Leave it to Beaver.
Leave it to Beaver.
Leave it to Beaver.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that a saying?
It was a show. Yeah.
Okay.
Long time ago.
Fair enough. No, I haven't heard it. Yep. All right. Let's move into the news, Bryce. Not too much, and we'll wrap this weird show up.
All right.
Woohoo! Yeah! Pika, pika!
Is that all?
I am my friends. Woohoo! My body is still.
All right, Bryce. We've got a pretty slow week this week because we had a massive week last week. They didn't come out and announce a brand new Metroid game this week.
No, they didn't. No.
Because they did it last week.
That's right, yeah.
Was there a new Fire Emblem game this week? No, there wasn't. Because there's already an Advance Wars game announced. You
Yeah,
can't.
so Fire Emblem's cancelled.
Yeah, it's cancelled. Ike, we're never going to see him again. You're only going to hear him on the House of Mario, so make sure you...
You can hear a very sad yeah in the distance.
I fight for my friends who are dead.
My friends are dead.
Yes. So, all right. So this one's from Nintendo Life, and I bring this one up because a lot of Animal Crossing fans felt a bit dissed by last week's Direct. A lot of people were hoping for a big update and expansion, more information about more content coming to the game. The game has sold 32 million copies, so so surely they're going to keep us coming back. They're going to monetize it somehow. They're going to keep us coming back, but they didn't. And sort of on Twitter, I saw like a lot of disheartened Animal Crossing fans. And while I probably would have said that we're not going to see an Animal Crossing update at E3, probably, it's not really the place for that type of thing. But who knows? Who knows? It might have shown up, but it didn't. And this is coming from The Verge, and a quote from Doug Bowser. He says, "While we didn't talk about it during the E3 Nintendo Direct, we absolutely have plans going forward to ensure the 33 million people who have islands out there have new and fun activities to engage with. Look forward more to come." End quote. So just a very Doug Bowser. He's the king of very boring marketing speak. He just says, "Yes, expect more," and whether that means in autumn, we're going to get some cool things. In spring, we're going to get a nice flower for our hair. It might mean that, or it might mean some more significant stuff to come. But do you sort of expect any big movements for DLC for Animal Crossing? Because we haven't really had it in the series past. We have had like a big free update with like the Caravan Park in Animal Crossing on 3DS. We had that amiibo update fairly late in its life, and that was a big significant update. We added new villages and new area and stuff.
Yeah.
But really, we haven't had much for Animal Crossing New Horizons. It's just been the stuff that is typically been included with the game at launch. But now they're like, we're going to save it so we can put it out season by season so people can't time travel. But do you think we're going to see anything exciting from Animal Crossing? A lot of people are asking for it, so I hope they get what they're after.
I mean, I'd like to say, they'd keep updating it, but I think at this point, you'll get trickle updates. But I think they'd probably just be working towards making the next one.
Yeah, I hope they're not, because...
Well, 32 million copies, the well has got to dry soon. They're going to run out of,
Yeah.
They've made a shit ton of money off that game now.
Because, watching Animal Crossing streamers, they are just squeezing this orange. They are getting every drop of content out.
But that's the problem. You see?
Because they're playing it so much. Yeah,
they're playing it so much, right?
But the community that plays Animal Crossing, they play Animal Crossing, and they don't necessarily look out towards other Nintendo franchises that much. It's like a very segmented sort of community on Nintendo Switch. So yeah, I mean, I would like to see more stuff come at Animal Crossing, whether it's to bring people like us back who are, casual fans of the series.
Yeah,
enjoy playing it.
I don't think it's going to grab me back.
Not going to grab you back?
No. It's not that Animal Crossing is bad. I've spent 120 hours in it. I would say that New Horizons is a very good game, but there is a point where it becomes a chore sim with no progression.
I fell off because every day I was just harvesting my oranges and selling them. I'm like, I didn't say I'm going to stop playing, but I just stopped playing because I think I made it too boring for myself.
Yeah,
doing that.
It becomes a chore. It becomes a chore, like a chore list every day at some point, right? Like all these events and stuff like that. They're like, you can get these items in this event at this time. Like the warp pipe, I really should have logged in and got, for example, because
it's in there for good.
Oh, is it now?
Yeah.
You can go collect it for good.
Yeah, you go and
I thought they were getting rid of it.
No, I don't think so. I think you buy it from the Nook Miles PC. Usually Nook Miles tickets.
Yeah,
I could be wrong. I haven't played it since then.
I thought it was zapping away after all the Mario celebrations were done.
No, I don't think it would make sense if it was, because they got rid of everything else, I guess. But I think they were keeping it in there.
Okay, well, anyway, just things like that, right? It's like the events and stuff like that with limited time items and all that. Something that was really cool about older Animal Crossings were its innate ability to include Nintendo franchises through neat little items you could find and hunt for and stuff like that. There's not really any of that in New Horizons.
No.
So I don't have the incentive. I can't make themed rooms around like Zelda or Pokemon or something like that. And why there isn't more of that stuff that isn't just naturally tied to the game is beyond me.
Yeah.
Because I would love to see that stuff in there and I would actually hunt for it. When you think about stuff in previous Animal Crossing games, even you could emulate old games. You could even probably just do that again in this one, despite the fact you've got Nintendo Switch Online, right? And have the cartridges or consoles or whatever they were in previous Animal Crossing. I think it was GameCube one. Maybe?
Yep.
Yeah.
And had NES games.
That's right. And like, you know, you could collect them and play them in Animal Crossing. Even just something like that would be so good.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. Like, just from a lot of people talking about this game, it is like missing a fair few things that, say, New Leaf on 3DS included. Because Animal Crossing, it was always one of those series where I'm like, it would be such a nightmare to translate this game. Every single villager has its own dialogue, its own sort of scenarios. It says different things. But now every villager just sort of shares the same dialogue for like every single situation. So there's less sort of personality in every single villager, which is kind of a shame. And it is, there are a few instances of that throughout the entire game. So yeah, I would like to see it get updated more. And but for people that were getting angry at it, it's like that is not sort of the place to announce that type of thing.
No.
They had a lot of new stuff coming out. It's like,
again, like it's going to get trickle updates, and if you're wasting that precious time that they have at E3 just to announce more trickle updates, it's just frustrating for the people that are looking for other things, right? And like the thing is like, I guess the best example is to look at conferences like Capcom's this year, right? And people were like, here's DLC for X game, or, you know, whatever. And people are just like, oh, I don't care. And that's the exact same way Animal Crossing is going to be received if it's E3 as well.
Yeah, it's like at Xbox's conference, they were just doing game. And then they stopped for like 10 minutes on Forza Horizon. I loved it. I'm like, oh yes, Forza Horizon 5, cannot wait for it. They're like, oh, we're going around Mexico and we're getting local artists to do art here. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. But a lot of people are like, why 10 minutes on Forza? And like 3 minutes and everything else.
Yeah.
And anyone who's not interested in Animal Crossing is like, an Animal Crossing update at E3? Are you serious?
Yeah. Of this 40 minute direct, you're going to talk for 3 to 5 minutes about Animal Crossing updates?
Yeah.
No.
And you know what? Same could be said for Smash Brothers. They're like, here's an update for Smash. Here's a new character.
Yeah.
I guess the same could be said.
But the difference between that is that a new character is usually meta shifting, like it is game changing. Whereas like in Animal Crossing trickle updates, which are the only things being announced now, right? They've got their seasonal events. We've done a full year rotation. We know what's coming out for every seasonal event. They're not really going to change it. But during those seasonal events, they might go, oh, here's some new items you get in this seasonal event. It's like, here is a lamp that looks like a mushroom or something, right? Like it's not going to overall impact your gameplay, whether you're going to get that mushroom or not. But with Smash Brothers, even if you don't own the Fighters Pass or anything like that, and you still play online play, you know, getting Kazuma or whatever in the game is going to ultimately affect your gameplay like significantly.
Yeah.
It is a new character.
It's also a lot more exciting announcement, to be fair.
Well,
it's like here's a character representing Tekken.
Yeah, that's right.
In our game.
Yeah. Not a mushroom lamp.
Unless they have Tekken items in the Animal Crossing.
It's a collaboration, and you know that's what it comes down to. Is these collaborations are they're multi-company and they're a big deal, and it usually is a money trade, and you know there's a level of agreement that Smash updates are very important and are announced for very specific reasons. An Animal Crossing update is not really.
Yeah, I mean Nintendo sees the numbers when they do a Nintendo Direct. They do trailers and that. And I dare say they see the numbers that people very much want a Smash update.
Yeah, and that's the other thing as well.
And
is how are you going to compare, right? You have to remember in comparison. Yeah, I'm trying not to not go.
Sorry, bro.
You're right. Like you can't compare and be like, you know, even with Animal Crossing, it's 32 million copies, like sold more than Smash. Like, yep.
Yeah, it kind of smashed everything else, didn't it?
But how many people from that Animal Crossing lot actually followed these events live when they are live? So like directs and stuff like that, just to hear Animal Crossing is, because like you said, they're pretty isolated. You know, they play Animal Crossing for Animal Crossing. They don't really seek out other Nintendo franchises. They want to play Animal Crossing because they like Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Right? They're not going to tune in for live updates just for Animal Crossing, and Nintendo, they're not big enough. The updates are never that substantial enough that they deserve their own direct or anything like that. So there's no reason they're going to do the same thing for them at E3, if that makes sense.
Yeah, my sort of like biggest exposure to like really big Animal Crossing fans was in Bobby Paul's Nintendo Guru's
That's
Twitch
right.
streams and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And on the DS, that's where I fell in love with Animal Crossing, was on DS with Wild World, and I was like, this game is great. It's so relaxing. It's awesome. And I was so excited when it came to 3DS and when it was coming to Switch as well. And being exposed to like the community that plays it, I'm like,
Yeah.
this is one of the more hardcore Nintendo franchises out there. Like, compare it to like Fire Emblem or anything else. I'm like, you expect like Fire Emblem to be like really nerdy and into it, which they are, but the Animal Crossing fan base there's something else.
Yeah, they're savage, man.
I respect it, and I'm scared of it at the same time.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And just what you can do with your islands now. People are just going nuts with it. It's really...
Oh, you can do so many things with it. Like, I'm like, even just terraforming and stuff like that. Like, Animal Crossing is its own monster, you know. And with New Horizons, they opened up so many possibilities. It's not even funny. And it's definitely respectable. And the things you can do with it are nothing short of incredible in terms of like building your own island. But that in itself is the game. You know, the updates and stuff like that, nobody liked. Remember the first event? The first event for Animal Crossing?
No,
Easter.
I don't. Oh, in-game event, yes.
Oh my fucking god!
Yeah,
what a
I
mess.
love that, how they just, like, you can get Easter eggs. If that's all you find, I'm like, I just want to get a fish, dude.
Yeah, I just want to make money off of selling fish, and you're giving me these fucking Easter eggs. It was a travesty. People fucking hated it.
Yeah.
I stopped playing Animal Crossing until that event was over. I didn't even hunt the event items. I was like, no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, they did end up patching it to get the rates down, but because I guess they actually listened. That was good, but yeah, it was nuts.
It was terrible. It made me stop playing Animal Crossing, and you know that is these updates.
It's like 2 weeks after the game came out as well.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
I stopped playing it for a month. Like literally, I'm interested in this game, but I'm not interested in this. This is fucking terrible. And then whenever the seasonal events come along, I wasn't interested in playing them. Like I got that much of a bad backlash from that one event. Then I was like, okay, no.
Wow.
Yeah, I never played a seasonal event afterward. I was like, it just impedes on my time. I want to make my island pretty. I want to make bells by catching fish, whatever. Can't do that when there's a fucking seasonal event because it just interrupts everything. So I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
That being said, probably should boot it up again sometime. See how my what kind of degeneracy my island has become.
Everyone's just like crawling around.
Help, we're all dying. You're supposed to feed us with affection and love. Forget the orchard that you've got over there that's got heaps of trees of plenty of fruit and stuff. We're starving.
Think about all those pears you'll be coming back to, Bryce.
And the thing is, it's like, weren't villages pretty retroactive before? Like, they were just, like, if you turned off your Animal Crossing game for like a year, just heaps of them would be missing.
Don't know about heaps of them, but
A few of them at least.
you'll lose a couple, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's like that in this one.
That's good. Unless you want them to go. Like, you literally shut the game off. I'm not turning this back on until
But I mean, it makes
Frank's gone.
But I mean, it makes things more interesting, you know? Like, you know, it makes you want to keep up with the game so you don't lose those important villages.
Yeah, true. Well, maybe turn on the game and have a look next time. Fill us in next time if all your villages are gone. And by the way, I kind of stopped playing because I really wanted to find Philbit, but I could not find Philbit. He's a little blue
just have to-
squirrel.
Just go get an amiibo card, man.
Yeah, I want to. He's in set 3, I think. I'm really...
Just buy one on eBay.
Yeah, I might. I want that amiibo. If anyone's got a Philbit amiibo card, I'm happy to spend like $10, $20 on it. So send it my way.
I want my Philbit. Tell me why.
I just love his fur.
Tell me why.
He's got such a beautiful smile.
Tell me why.
He smells like gingerbread.
He just wants Philbread. There you go.
Philbread.
Yeah, it had to rhyme.
What's Philbread? Just blue yeast
Yep.
cooking.
Yeah. Smurf bread, you know.
It's all Smurf
Blue.
bread.
Blue.
Blue. So you could just repurpose Smurf bread as Filbert bread.
Eiffel 65, you know. Yo, listen up. Here's a story about a little squirrel guy who lives in an animal world.
Yes. All right, Bryce, let's shift things to Bayonetta 3. This is the title, I think, like the last 3 years we've been saying, oh, it's Bayonetta 3 at E3? And it never has. But Kamea is annoyed about fans asking what happened to Bayonetta 3. So this comes from My Nintendo News, and the article reads, the game that many thought would make a sneak appearance during the recent Nintendo E3 2020 presentation was Platinum Games' long-awaited next installment of the Bayonetta series, Bayonetta 3. Kamea, the game's creator, has expressed annoyance on Twitter due to the consistent requests by fans on social media platform asking what has happened to the Nintendo Switch exclusive. We have yet to see a gameplay trailer for this game since it was announced back in December 2017 at the Game Awards. However, Kamea did say earlier this year that the game is progressing well and that it is down to Nintendo regarding as to when they produce a show and show a trailer for Bayonetta 3. So he's quoted for saying, I get why people say, hurry up and release info or show something. But Kamea wrote on Twitter, reckless remarks like, has development stopped, or I guess it's delayed, etc., are nothing but annoying public waste. Kamea replied to tweets by those suggesting that development has stopped by calling those Twitter users Kuso Baka, which translates to fucking idiots.
Yeah.
He did seem irritated with the speculation, however, because it's previously indicated things are progressing well. So, end of the article. So yeah, it is one of those games where it's like it's been a long time. So
Kamiya's always been a brash guy, though. he's always been a brash guy. So I'm not surprised that he was like Kusopaka fucking Twitter. I'm really not surprised at all. Yeah, and you know what? Fair enough. If here's the thing: is these people need to alleviate their frustration sometimes.
Oh yeah, of course. Just
fair enough with him. If the game is progressing well and he's basically saying it's down to Nintendo to announce it, right? Then it's down to Nintendo to announce it.
Yeah.
There's no ifs and or buts about it. I have every faith in Platinum. Platinum's a good studio, right? And Kamiya's a good director. And you know, I actually kind of side with him on this one. If people keep going, oh well, I guess it's been delayed, or has it been cancelled? Like he's probably just sick of reading it and just being like, I'm doing my best. Leave me alone.
Yeah,
you know?
I definitely agree with that. It's just like it was announced in 2017, so like in 2018, you're like, oh, we might see something a bit more.
Yeah.
Fans like, oh, nothing. 2019, oh, we might see something a bit more. Nothing. 2020, you know, it was a very different year. Fair enough. And this year, it's coming up to the 4th year. So, oh, we might see something, and still nothing.
We have to remember though, and this is very pertinent and very important, right? Very, very important. All right, I'm going to label that. Very important. You getting me?
I'm getting you.
You getting me?
Actually, no, fill me in a bit.
Okay. It's important.
Oh yeah, gotcha. Right.
They've had a lot coming out, and you know you've made note of this. You're like, they've had a lot of game releases since then. So why haven't they said anything about Bayonetta? And I think that's kind of important. They only said Bayonetta 3 was in development. They didn't say how far along it was in development. They didn't say what else other titles they had at the time in development. They just said it's the next on the list.
Yeah, I think like Furukawa or something probably just signed a contract saying Platinum, you're going to make it an exclusive game. It's going to be Bayonetta 3. And that's probably as far as it was.
Exactly right, yeah. So they made a teaser trailer and that was it, right? That's all they could do. It's very important to note all of that pretty much just in one stretch, just bang. That is the case. So do you think about the titles that we got since then? We got stuff like Astral Chain, right? Astral Chain was a very, very good game.
It certainly was.
And I'm glad that, you know, they weren't just trying to rush it out the door to make room for Bayonetta 3 because it was going to be a big name title. You know, Astral Chain is a very good game. So it's quite obvious that they're taking their time while trying not to abrash the quality of their other titles. And that's very important. So the fact that there's no Bayonetta 3 news.
Yeah, I mean, like Bayonetta 2 was just, it was 10 out of 10s across the board.
Yes, it was.
They've got a lot to live up to for a sequel. I think Platinum takes it very seriously.
Yeah.
It's got Nintendo as a publisher, lots of money, lots of time, lots of resources.
Yes.
So take all the time you need, Platinum.
That's right, yeah. Come here. Like, sorry, man. No need to be angry.
Yeah, and like, fair enough. It's like, you're working hard on this thing. Fair enough, it's people being like, hey, when are we going to see this game? But it's another thing being like, oh, I guess it's delayed. It's like, well, I guess it's cancelled or whatever. So, well, no. Games take a long time to make. Games are hard to make.
Look at a lot of Nintendo's main series. You won't see main games from them in a very long time.
No.
When was the last time you saw when was Star Fox Zero?
2016 it came out.
2016, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 years ago. Nothing on a new Star Fox title since then. Before that, when was that? The GameCube one, right?
Assault?
Yeah. Since like the first,
There was a couple.
No, console, like main console title, right?
Mm. Yeah, that was a while ago.
It was like fucking 2009 or something like that. Like, yeah, you know, Smash Brothers. Long time between titles. Very popular game. In fact, it sells in the tens of millions when it does, except for the Wii U, because if you combine the 3DS sales and Wii U sales, I suppose. But yeah.
Yes, you can combine them, and that will work.
Yeah, exactly.
The DS one did sell.
Yeah,
a fair bit.
Because nobody wanted to buy the Wii U.
3DS one. Yeah.
But like that is yeah, sort of the end all and be all of it. These things do take time, and Bayonetta's no different. To presume that it's just churned out like every other action RPG that's on the market, like Assassin's Creed and stuff like that, is very misinformed.
Yeah. So just be patient.
It'll get there.
It'll get there.
In the meantime, play Vanquish. If you can't get enough Bayonetta, play Vanquish. Vanquish is a very cool game that got semi-re-released recently.
Not on Switch. Oh, is it on Switch?
I think it might have.
Don't think it is.
If not, you can play it on just about everything else. Vanquish is a
don't think it was.
Vanquish is a very cool game. I enjoyed my playthrough of it.
Yeah, I got given it on PlayStation Plus on PS3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Very cool.
Really fun, like sliding mechanics and
the sliding mechanics is like the whole meme of the game, and I love it. It's just like sliding through everything and shooting things. Like, yeah, look at me, I'm like spinning in circles doing a slide. It's great.
Yeah.
Vanquish is fun. Very good Platinum game.
All right, so these are just some like announcements for dates, and this is just I brought this one up mainly for the Australian audience, but also obviously for the US audience as well. In the US, a Hotline Miami collection physical is going up for pre-order, and obviously if you live in America, you're interested in this, go and pre-order.
Worldwide.
Yes, but I will say, since it is blocked here in Australia because of Hotline Miami 2 getting refused classification in Australia, the collection went up for like 2 hours on the eShop.
I got it.
In a digital-only game, and it went away. Bryce claimed the code. I was too slow. I got home after work, and I wasn't able to do it.
I've got I reckon I've got a very expensive Nintendo account as a result, because I'm one of the very few people that managed to redeem a code for it.
Are you ever going to sell your?
Oh fuck no!
Yeah. I don't know. Like I know it's rare in Australia, but also, is anyone going to be like, I'm going to pay good money for your account because it's got an Australian copy of?
You would be surprised.
I mean, I would be.
It is a very big oddity for something like that to happen.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you want Bryce's account,
100,000.
100,000. American.
Yeah, I want to buy a house.
With your Nintendo account.
That's right.
You bought that many games on there, you probably spent over $100,000 on there.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't think so. If you have, that is impressive.
Did you buy anything on the E3 sale?
I was looking at Crash Bandicoot 4, but no, nothing really. There's nothing that interested me that I didn't really have.
I bought a few things. Like there was like a game for 1 cent on there, for example, and then like
I did actually. I bought a Metro game. It was $4.
Yeah, Metro was $4.
Yeah, I
bought that too. There was Super Bomberman R, which I think was $6.
Oh,
you know,
say that. Yep.
Yes, it was like there was a lot of really cheap stuff on there. Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2 went half price.
I did say the Final Fantasy games were half price. Yeah.
Yeah, so I bought 10 and 10-2 for half price because that's two games for $40. So $20 a pop. That's pretty good, especially for Final Fantasy.
Yep.
So just stuff like that. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Add to the collection. Make your account a bit juicier.
My
for that
account, my
purchase?
account is very juicy. Don't worry about that. Like between game reviews and sales and stuff like that, I've plumped up a lot of collection now.
What's your password? No, I'm joking.
You wish you'd know.
So we've released, but on the 17th of July, you can grab your copy, and it comes with some neat goodies. Goodies.
Googies.
Googies. You got to get some.
Googies. Get some eggs in them belly googies.
So you get the game cartridge and art book, which contains a 30-page art booklet, and it's $30 American and on online retailers. So yeah, just thought I'd put that in there. If you're interested in that. Jesus Christ.
And I'm the one creating earthquakes.
Yeah, no, I do the tremors, you do the earthquakes.
Oh, fuck off. You're a liar.
I'll put some. Yeah, it doesn't matter what I do.
Dirty liar.
So I'm the earthquakes boy now. If I'm,
I've seen you pull off some earthquakes, man.
Have you?
I've kept my arms off the desk just so I'd stop doing them, and you've been doing them now.
We're doing shift earthquake. Right. All right.
Shift earthquakes or shit earthquakes?
Shift.
There you go.
Like, we do shifts.
Shift work, yeah.
Yeah, so you take your arms off, put them on.
I work at KFC, I'm going to my shift work.
Bryce, very exciting sort
Stuff.
of announcement. We got a Pokemon Unite is coming to Nintendo Switch in July.
Yeah.
And on iOS and Android in September. No exact dates, but this is the Pokemon MOBA made by Tencent and Timmy. That got announced last year. A lot of commotion was going on. Everyone's expecting a bit more of an exciting announcement, being like a Nintendo Switch game from Nintendo themselves, but was not the case. We got a Pokemon MOBA. So if you're interested in participating, it'll be free to play on Nintendo Switch next month.
Yeah.
So I'll be giving it a go. Why not? It's free. The game looks a lot more polished and that now, so it's like, it's all right.
Yeah. Still, there's a problem to be said about MOBAs, I guess.
Just MOBAs in general.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely, MOBAs in general. But
I just say that because you've played nice amount of them. So,
but the issue is that I want you to name a single MOBA that succeeded on console.
I don't know, Smite.
Not really.
And that's didn't really.
PC, it's more played on PC.
Right. Yeah, so it's a genre I don't play, so
you can. The thing is, it does have cross-play, right? So you're never going to lose player bases or something like that. But historically, MOBAs have not performed very well on a console platform.
It's interesting too because this game will not be on PC. It's mobile on Switch.
That's right. But like PlayStation, for example, do you remember they had like this very really big MOBA?
PlayStation did.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was called, and it was really technically pretty impressive for a MOBA. It wasn't just a top-down perspective or anything like that. It was first-person MOBA with the works.
Not sure.
I can't remember what it was called, but it garnered absolutely no attention on PlayStation, and it died within I think it was 4 months of release, and they removed it. They were like, all right, we're shutting it down.
I think this game it'll be fine because it's Pokemon. People will. I think a heap of people will just play it because it's Pokemon. Then
I just want
enough people will be stuck with it.
No, you know what? I found out the other day. There is actually somebody that is a team of people that revived Pokemon Duel.
Oh, okay.
For mobile devices, play that. I know the official release is gone now, but they're constantly updating with new figures and everything. Yeah, and Pokemon Duel was awesome. I'm so sad they removed that game. I loved Pokemon Duel. The trading figure game is that oddity that doesn't work in real life, as opposed to the trading card game, because cards are easier to produce and they're not as expensive, right? But the trading figure game on mobile was so cool.
Yeah, right.
I wish they kept it. If we're talking about all these mobile projects, when I did my Evergreen episode, I think it was, of mobile games, I mentioned that all these Pokemon games had suffered, Pokemon mobile games had suffered at the hands of them sort of just moving on to the next project as opposed to like keeping stuff updated. And Pokemon Duel was one of them things that could have been really good because it was very unique and there was no clones of it whatsoever.
Yeah, they tried to put a subscription service on it, and I think it just didn't do enough for them, so they got rid of it. I think that's what ultimately happened. Especially, they got Pokemon Go just smashing it, so it's kind of like...
Yeah, because they didn't... Yeah, but they didn't advertise it or anything. I didn't know it existed until like the last few months of its life. You know?
You killed it. You came in and just... They're like, oh, no, get rid of it. Bryce is here.
Wow. But yeah, my point is like, you know, that game was so cool. And I really wish they would have just kept it around in some degree, maybe did a bit more marketing, because getting rid of, like, they obviously don't have the trading figure game anymore. And to buy some of those figures online, they're like really unique figures that you'll never get again. You'll never see them again. Chad Tronic actually did like an hour and 30-minute long video. He has a whole box of them. So one day he was like, I'm just going to sort through these and show them off, and like, I've got like a box here where I can chuck my duds that are broken and stuff like that, and then I want to store the other ones more eloquently. And he had like heaps of them, and they were, it was really cool to look through. The trading figure game's definitely an oddity. Yeah,
that would be cool. Yeah,
it's good to watch.
Just for this game though, if anyone's interested in playing it, it's a free-to-play game. It has a battle pass where you can unlock costumes for your trainer, your Pokemon, and all that. It is kind of like a novelty to see the ability to actually dress up your Pokemon. It's sort of like a feature. It would be nice to have in like some more mainline titles when they're following behind you. You can put like some sunglasses or something dumb on them. So I think
keep in mind though that's going to cost you some money.
Yeah,
it's a 10-cent run. It's a 10-cent run MOBA.
Yeah, that's right. So obviously we don't know the pricing on that. It could be a great deal or it could be awful.
It'll be terrible.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be.
I promise you, I've played 10-cent games.
Yeah. One of the more intriguing things about it is all interesting little tidbits. Basically, is it's got its own chat system, so you can message people. Got friends list. You can do cross play with mobile and Switch. It's just like, I really wish that was just a Switch feature, because we all know what the Switch is a sort of online messaging system is. It doesn't exist. So it'd be nice if that was in there. So we'll see how that works as well. If that's something that was actually useful to people playing on Switch. On mobile, it'll be a lot easier just to boot up Discord and have that in the background. But
that being said, like, I hope that becomes a sign of the times thing now that, rest in peace is Soul Water and everything, but like a lot of people that were holding on to those old values about Nintendo are slowly like departing the company, or, because of retirement, or, obviously we've had a few deaths or what have you.
Yeah, it's mainly just their attitude towards things like.
But that's what I mean too.
Yeah.
Is that now that they're departing, a newer generation is coming in at Nintendo. So I hope that like with the next big thing that they do, they start taking into more consideration about these features that are actually quite important to the gaming sphere. Like still adding people with friend codes is bullshit.
Yeah, I actually don't mind the friend codes how they are.
It's still bullshit though. What the fuck is the point of having a friend code system if you can link your social media network accounts and just add people through that?
Yeah, well,
why bother?
It's got a lot of easy ways. So this is why I don't mind friend codes. Say on PlayStation.
Why can't I just add a person in game?
You can.
Not with every game you can't.
Yeah, not with every game, but
no, most
games you can. Because I always get friend requests from Japanese players who played me in Mario Kart. I'm like, I don't want to add you. I don't know you.
Why not? You can meet some Japanese people.
I can't.
No way, you got friends when you go to Japan.
Just message someone on my Switch friend list. Hey man, do you mind if I stay over tonight? Like, I just got off the plane. I got nowhere to stay.
Yeah, sure.
And he's like, yeah man, just message me back on Switch, and there we go. No, but like on Switch, you got your friend code, and you're able to choose your name. You're able to freely change your name to whatever you want, whenever you want. I've got iDruby at the moment. I can change it to Backflip and Bono. I can change it back. I can change it as many times as I want. On Xbox and PlayStation, can't do that. It's the suggested name. If I want to change it, it's $10 after the first time of changing it.
They don't have to do that though. They can just make it so that you have a static tag and then have a dynamic tag.
Yeah, no, but the friend code is just like.
Yes, but why does it have to be a random group of numbers? It's fucking crap. Why can't it just be something that's easily recognizable? And then, like, you can just copy it. Well, you can, if you go up to somebody in the street, like we're at a convention or something like that, and we have a chat with someone like, oh, yeah, really getting on this. Like, hey, man, I'd like to play some of this with you sometime. It's like, what's your friend code? oh, it's 1279 7721 9211. And you're like, oh
Bryce.
yes, I'll remember that.
Yeah, you don't remember your friend code? God.
Fucking.
It's kind of just like your mobile phone number though. It's like, obviously you remember your phone number. It's a lot more important than your Switch friend code.
It's far more important than your Switch friend code.
But it's a similar thing. It's like, oh, why can't I just have a name instead of a phone number?
Because your phone number's different.
I know it's different. I'm just
like you're comparing chalk and cheese here. It's like you don't put chalk on your sandwich, mate. It tastes like fucking chalk.
Well, you'd be surprised, Bryce. At lunchtime, I put whatever between those slices of bread, mate. Don't you worry about that.
He's a hardcore farming man. He loves chalk in his sandwich.
Oh, the farmers love chalk my way. Tell you what.
But yeah, no.
Yeah.
It is something that, despite the argument of, you can change your name whenever you want on Switch, you can't do that on the other ones. It's like, that doesn't mean anything. You can have a static tag. Fucking Discord. Discord, it doesn't even matter. Discord, if you change your name, it just does that, and then it just puts a hashtag in front of your name.
Yeah, I mean, Xbox does that as well. Like, if you want to change your name to something that's already taken, it'll put like a hashtag behind it, so it can recognize it. And so you can double up if someone's already got your username, which is very useful because Xbox Live has been around like a very long time, and you'll be very, very hard to get a name without putting a bunch of shit behind
That's right.
it.
But even just a 4-digit hashtag is better than a 12-digit friend code, because the 4-digit hashtag is like a PIN number. It's like if I wanted to fucking it's like I want Revan on Xbox, so it's like, so auto assigns me a hashtag 2277 Revan. So I'm just like 227. It's anybody asks, I'm like 2277 Revan, and then people are like, oh yes, I should remember that pretty easily.
So yeah, it's pretty. I definitely agree with that. So just like shorten the friend code, pretty much. Yeah, that'd be great.
And then put a name in front of it.
Yeah,
done.
No, I'd love that. Yeah, so then you can literally be like, so I can remember 4.
Yeah, I can remember 4 digits. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. But yeah. Do it, Nintendo.
The point is change with the times. Let's hope it happens. I want it to happen. It's like Splatoon. And Wacko's in the chat. He'll I'm sure he'll agree to some extent. Like, rotating maps is like, it was kind of a cool thing at the time to sort of keep you more engaged in the game, but now it's just irritating. You kind of just want to practice in specific areas of Splatoon or something like that. You can't. You have to be on at specific times. The map rotation changes all the time. Yeah,
I think they did it in the Wii U version because they're worried about a player base not being there. But, it's a very popular franchise now. Switch has a lot of people. Splatoon 3 is going to sell very well.
Yes.
I don't think that's an issue anymore. So, yes, hopefully they get rid of that.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, Bryce, that's all the news, my friend.
Yeah, see, he agrees.
Wacko Jacko. Yes, please. 2 maps for 2 hours is so... Ugh.
Yeah, it is. It is. With those attached game modes, too, for only 2 hours. It's... Yeah, irritating.
It's not on Nintendo.
Doesn't need to happen anymore, Nintendo. No. Splatoon is a good game. We're all very aware of this. People will play it.
Yeah, they will. All right, so that's all the news, and we'll move into House of Mario's Red Coin recommendations, where we'll talk about some of the more recent games that have come to Nintendo Switch eShop this week. All right, Bryce, so this is a very slow week. Very slow. So I brought up 2 games that caught my attention. Nothing too mind-blowing, but someone out there might say, yes, I want that title on my Nintendo Switch for a fee where I'll get the rights to play that game and download it to my console, and I'll have such a good time with it. Yes, so the first game is called Bear's Restaurant, and the blurb reads... You're distracting me so much with doing whatever you're doing there, Bryce. I love it.
Playing a story through with
In this restaurant, the dead will have the Last Supper. Hamburgers, omelets, sushi, pudding, anything. Let us cook your favorite dish when you were alive. This is a story about Bear and Cat. You are Cat, the assistant of Bear, who is running this restaurant. Players can know about their favorite things by diving into their memories of the customers, but in fact, you do not remember who you are, not even your favorite dishes. There is no difficult puzzle, no exciting battle, no epic cutscenes, but you will remember them. Enjoy the new episode epilogue. exclusive to Nintendo Switch, where you will know what happened after the main story. Enjoy the new songs, new graphics, and new dishes. So, Bryce, Bear's Restaurant. Does that excite you? Does that wet your whistle, mate?
To be honest, I tuned out.
It's $19 on the Australian eShop. It's by Odin Cat, the publisher. So yes, very exciting stuff. A lot of these, after reading them, like, I don't know if I know what this game is any better than before I even knew about it.
No, yeah.
But it's a nice little pixel art style. Might be a nice little story. Get some bonus content on Nintendo Switch compared to PC, I assume. Next game, Bryce, is 32 Seconds and is $27.
32 secs.
Yeah, sure. Well, I like saying the full thing, but yes, you're right. Sex.
Yeah, 32 secs.
32 sex, yeah.
Very interesting way to have sex. 32.
32. 32 seconds, just like...
32 secs.
Yeah. Anyway, it's $37.50 on the Australian eShop, and the blurb... Oh, Jesus, long blurb. All right, let's break this thing down. So, race through traffic in a futuristic city's highway with your cyber motorcycle, completing various trials and challenges. Take the city at extreme velocity. Hop on your motorcycle and complete various races, time trials, and other challenges in a sci-fi metropolis at high speed. Hit the asphalt hard, zigzag between bikes and racing cars on a vibrant neon-lit street. Hack, boost, and maneuver with different futuristic bikes on endless highways. Tune your vehicles with system updates and hardware upgrades. Be the fastest racer in this rapid rush. Improve your racing skills and reflexes. Dodge enemy bikes. Beat the other racers and try to become the master of the asphalt. Get higher speed and exact handling. Use boosts and hacking tactically to leave your foes behind. Complete the best trial time with other riders. Discover the glowing futuristic streets, find every boost, beat every boss, and complete as many coins as you can. Upgrade your vehicle, reaching high speeds. Unlock new vehicles, customize your bikes, make them faster, harder, stronger. All right, that's a long thing, so we get it.
To listen to.
Yeah. So that's a lot of bullshit. So if you're interested in that, I don't know.
Try it.
I just when
it's $7.50 though.
When it makes me read a paragraph like that, I'm just like, holy shit, that's enough. All right. So we get the idea. It's a racing game. Bloody hell. But it looks okay though. Like just from like the screenshots and that, the graphics look nice enough, nice and vibrant, like the description says. So it could be interesting. I don't know. Whenever games like this sort of just ask for $40 just out of nowhere, it's like, oh, I don't know about that. It's a bit
high price,
bit too high. But I don't know if it being $20 would help. Either. But, just like to bring these things up in case someone out there's like, yes, I really want to race at high speeds and zigzag through cars. This summary has really sold me. But that's all the Hasamari Red Coin recommendations. Bryce, unless you see anything there that captures your eye, I just picked out some random ones. You're more than welcome to bring up another one if you like, my friend.
Let's have a look at this. There's a lot of whatever here, pretty much, isn't there? Really is a lot of whatever here, but so I'll pick one out. Might as well, right? I'm gonna pick Dunk Lords.
Dunk Lords.
There is a picture of a dude smashing a tomato or a strawberry in the face. Excellent.
Strawberry, definitely a strawberry. Yeah.
You might be able to ball, but can you fight? Dunk Lords is a 2-on-2 basketball beat 'em up, featuring over-the-top special moves, devastating dunks, and game-changing equipment. Choose from 20 of the baddest ballers around, each with unique special attacks and abilities, and do battle on a variety of hazard-filled courts. In arcade mode, play pick-up games locally with 1 to 4 players. In gauntlet mode, attempt to win 4 games in a row with 1 to 2 players in pursuit of a high score. 1 loss and you are done. In story mode, guide talented young star Slice and his friends in their attempt to become the true Dunk Lords. Play through the story mode single player or with a friend, and it is only $12. It looks interesting. Probably not the epitome of what you would expect, but pretty interesting regardless. Yeah. Weird.
So there you go, $12.
$12, yeah, $12 ain't bad for something that looks like that, I suppose.
Yeah, save your pre-order for Metroid. Get this instead.
Look, if you're buying this over Metroid, I've got something to tell you.
What's that?
You're supporting the wrong thing. Please support Metroid. I guess that's the one thing that I wanted to say this week as well, is like with Metroid Dread coming out. I'm a little bit guilty myself because I haven't supported Metroid since Corruption. But Metroid is a very important series to Nintendo, and if you're even in the slightest interested, you should definitely support it. And I reckon Dread's probably going to be one of the better games to support, the way it's sort of looking. I would love to see this game sell 5 million plus.
Yeah.
Because that would mean greater things for Metroid. When you look at the things in comparison to like Metroid, when they talked about Dread, did they even mention the fact that it is an anniversary for Metroid this year?
No, they didn't.
They didn't. And it's the same age as Zelda.
Yeah.
Metroid needs more more accolade to it, I suppose. It has been around as long as Zelda and Mario, but never really got the same recognition. And it spawned its own genre, which took over the indie scene for so long. Between it and Castlevania, called Metroidvania, as most people know it as, there's a reason it holds that title. So I think it's a very important series. When Dread comes out, if you're in the slightest interested, I do recommend picking up Metroid, because Metroid games are quite unique to the Nintendo sphere. And that's the one thing I wanted to say this week, I guess.
Yeah, I was looking at the special edition at EB Games, and I'm gonna buy it digitally because I just get my games there. But I'm like, oh, should I also get the collector's edition? Because I want to put out that message to Nintendo saying, we do want this. We want this game. And realistically, it wasn't actually that long ago we got a 2D Metroid game really with Samus Returns, but this is like a brand new entry in the series.
And it's not near the end of a console's life either.
Yeah, true. It's not just like, oh well, I guess we got to fill a gap here. Yeah. Put it out.
Yeah.
Hire Mercury Steam. That's
where
check it out.
Because that's where Samus Returns came out like at the absolute peak of 3DS's life. Yeah. Like shelf life. It was like, all right, starting to wind down now.
Well, Switch is out.
Yeah. Chuck out a fucking Metroid game. And I mean, it did okay, right? Like, I don't think it did too bad.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the sales were, but
I will look that up.
Okay.
It still obviously wasn't enough to I guess propel it and like push ideas forward a little bit more. A lot of people wanted a new Prime, and we're getting it, but it's going to take time. And I really hope, I'm actually kind of hoping that Prime will be around the time that they decide to pick up their Steam with their multiplayer improvements, if they ever have any, and all that stuff.
Oh, yep.
Like, I really hope, because that would be so good. Like, having a first-person shooter that is uniquely Nintendo would be very good. We've got a third-person shooter, but a first-person shooter would be good. And Metroid is, if there was going to be any series that does it, it was going to be Metroid. And Metroid Prime Hunters was really good multiplayer.
It was.
We had a lot of fun with it.
Stupidly good for Nintendo DS.
Yeah, it was stupidly good for Nintendo DS. We had a group of friends that were playing it, and none of us were uniquely interested in Metroid before it. Were we? Like, at all?
No.
Me, you, Jordan, and Adam, like, none of us were really that interested in Metroid. But Metroid Prime Hunters, we jumped on that shit, and we loved it. It was so good.
So you look up that, and I'll just bring up that in our Discord community, we are currently streaming on a stage. So if anybody would like to catch the show live or anything like that, join the link in our, the show notes. Join us in the Discord. And currently we have 5 people listening. So if any of you guys would like to come on, put up your hand, press the put up the hand button. We'll bring you into the show if you'd like to talk for a little bit longer. We're not going to go for a whole lot longer. If you guys would like to come in, more than welcome.
While we're waiting for that, Samus Returns actually only sold 470,000 copies. Not much.
No, that's shit all for Nintendo, yeah.
But, that's also at the end of its life, which, again, really impedes sales, like, to an abnormal degree.
Yeah, I'm gonna blame most of it because people are just like, oh, I've got my Switch and I'm not playing 3DS games.
Yeah, no, that's right, and it was like that.
And I bought Samus Returns because I like Metroid. I want to play it. I want to support it. But a lot of people, aren't thinking like that.
Yeah. Whereas Dread could really turn the tables. That's what we hope anyway.
All right, so Wacko Jacko's coming in. How you going, Wacko Jacko? Let's do a little transition here.
こんにちは。大乱闘スマッシュブラザーズディレクター空野桜井です。
Are you there, Wacko?
It's coming through the iPad.
It's coming through the iPad. What the hell is happening here?
We're about to find out. Hold your seats 2 seconds, Jacko, mate. It's coming through. I don't know why it's doing that.
Yeah. Can you hear us now, man?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, that's cool.
There you go. You come through I clicked approve on the iPad, so you came through the iPad. God forbid it
That's good. That's good to know, isn't it?
It is good to know. So, Wacko.
Listen, I just want to say thank you for hosting this show again tonight. You've been good entertainment while I'm watching my baby daughter sleep. So, yeah.
Oh,
thank you.
that's cute.
No worries. That's what we're here for. Everyone out there tending to their babies, we're here for your entertainment. Driving your car.
All them first-time fathers
Yes.
as well. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
How's your kid going at the moment? She's staying asleep. We're not waking her up too much.
No. Well, I'm actually worried that I'm speaking too loud because she's directly behind me on the bed. So.
Right. Well, we won't get you in too much trouble then.
No, it's okay.
Oh God.
It happened again. Just don't touch your iPad during this time, all right?
Yeah, obviously. Sorry, Wacko. We just missed that last bit because I was fiddling around my iPad.
Yeah, that's okay. All good. Yeah. Also, you were talking about Metroid just now. I don't know if you remember the Metroid party game from Nintendo Land.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
That was so much fun to play with my sisters. Like, I never played many Metroid games, but I played the crap out of that on Nintendo Land.
Yep.
Yeah, that was like one of the big highlights. It's like the only, well, not the only, but it's one of the best uses of the actual Wii U gamepad. Was like, oh, someone can play on the ground, and the other person can use Samus's ship. Look at this intuition we're using. It's like, oh well, who doesn't want to be in Samus's ship? I don't want to be on the ground with the Wii Wiimote.
It was fun though. It was a lot of fun. Like, even just for a little party game mode, it was perfect because like it showed you what Samus is about. Like, obviously you're in a space. She has a spaceship, so you shoot from the spaceship. But yeah, like, the other thing too about Metroid, how important is the fact that like it's the only kind of game that has a female heroine. Like the lead character is a female. I think that is majorly important for Nintendo.
Yeah.
So they want to be making sure that they'll be doing their best to best represent equality and like making sure they hit all the right notes and keys for bringing Metroid 4 Prime. So
yeah,
I think that's most important for the Metroid series to Nintendo.
I agree with it 100%. Samus is one of the most badass protagonists in video games from my eyes, like with no question of a doubt. And it was obviously a huge thing back in the original when you get to the end of the game and then it was a female all along. A lot of people were just like, "Whoa, Metroid's a man," and and then it turned out it's like, "Oh shit, it's actually it was actually a female all along." So there you go.
Get the secret ending. Oh, it's a woman. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was like a huge deal. And then ever since then, and that's why they downplay, like a lot of people downplayed Other M so much, is because they turned her more into a dramatic heroine for that game, and she's never really been about that. She's always been about the sort of badassery and stoicness of somebody exploring space and taking down armadas of space pirates. Like, it was a big thing that they reverted her character so much. So, but with games like Dread, so excited for that. That dark sort of sci-fi tone again. Very cool. Want it again, and I want it to sell well.
Definitely.
I immediately, like, when I first saw the trailer for the Dread, I was like, "So you're saying you're playing Metroid, but it's hide and seek?" It's essentially you're running away from the Emmy dude.
Oh yeah, but that's going to be good. Like,
it looks nice.
When they did it before, they did it with the, God, what do you want to call it? Dark Samus, I suppose.
Yes.
They did it with Dark Samus, but even then, it was more of an overlooming threat than it was an actual game of hide and seek or chasey.
Yep.
So this is kind of like there's this enemy in your face, and there's not a jack shit thing you can do about it unless you use the Omega Cannon, which you're only going to get access to under very limited conditions.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely going to be cool.
Yeah.
So you're looking forward to the game, Wacko? Dare say?
I'm looking. I'm not a massive Metroid fan. I respect the series though. I feel like, as we just said before, it is very important series to Nintendo. So yeah, no, I respect the series. Don't get some. I've only played. I think it was the first Prime game on GameCube. I think it was, and the controls for that game were horrendous. Like the camera controls, using the left stick to move around as well as look. I think. Like, it was just so difficult, but like, yeah, I'm not one to play, but I respect the series so much. So
Yeah. Oh, well, you don't have to worry about the second stick in
no,
in this game, so you should be safe.
yes, no, that's true.
Have you got a Wii U on hand, Jacko?
I used to.
You need to go and
Yeah, I
find
know.
You need to go
I
and
was
find
one of
a
those
cheap
people.
one. You need to go and find a cheap
Yeah.
one. Get Metroid Prime Collection.
Yeah, okay.
I've got two Wii U's now.
Oh, yeah, because you use one to hack, don't you? Or
Yeah,
something.
I kept mine in its original form and I kept the other one to hack. But I've got Metroid Prime Collection there. I'm going to play through all of it again before Prime 4 comes out.
Oh, you have a bit of time up your hand, so yeah, good luck.
I'm sure it'll be fine. They're not stupidly long games. I played through most of Corruption and I've played through a huge chunk of Prime 1, but I never touched Echoes.
All right. Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm interested to actually go back through and beat all of them sequentially. I think that'll be a fun time.
I wonder if people speed run Metroid games. It'll be interesting to see the times.
Absolutely, they do. One of the biggest things at GDQ every year is Metroid is usually one of the last runs, Super Metroid.
Okay.
And there's a donation goal that's either save the animals or kill the animals, and it's
Oh yes, I do remember that.
yeah, it's been a running thing for a very long time. They're very very passionate about Super Metroid, very very passionate about Super Metroid,
Understandable.
which is even more of a surprise as to why that game isn't even more of a success, because people really get into that run like crazy.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. Well, Wacko, thank you very much. We'll let you go. We'll
No
bring
worries.
someone else on.
No worries. Enjoy the rest of your show. I'll be listening still and watching on YouTube. So yeah,
Excellent.
look forward to it.
Thank you very much, my friend.
Cheers, man.
See ya.
So you did. All right. So we've got two more people on. We'll bring each of you on. Don't worry about that. Who should we bring on next? Should we bring on Delfino or I'll call him Thunder?
The
You know,
Undead King.
Yeah.
The Undead King.
Under King.
Undead King.
Oh, Undead King.
Yeah, it's in lead speak.
Yeah, I can't read
No,
it.
I know. You can't lead speak, man. I'm an early internet gremlin. I can definitely understand lead speak.
Oh, fair enough. I can't. Sorry about that. I'm not hip with the kids. Bryce is. Bryce has two kids.
Hip with the kids. That's like ancient, man.
All right, let's bring him on.
こんにちは。大乱闘スマッシュブラザーズディレクター空野桜井です。
All right, I can't see the computer from here.
No, you can't.
Let me lean in.
You might want to. I'm pretty sure you just press the hand button down the bottom. Do you not? See, this is easier when you're able to do it on your iPad. Yeah, and then just press it on the right hand side. On the right hand side, there's a list that's come up. And then there's two buttons next to it. So look, I'm directing you here. I'm the one with glasses. You need glasses, man.
Maybe.
You definitely need glasses.
Look,
Hey, man.
boys,
How we going?
pretty good. Yesterday, actually, I was playing a soccer match, and
Ooh.
I like hyperextended my neck, and last night I was in the ambulance
Oh, dude.
because they thought it could have been something with my spine, but I'm all good and back to school straight away.
Oh,
Well,
thank God for that.
Yeah, glad you're sort of back on track. That's pretty scary stuff.
Yeah, because I played soccer yesterday, but since you mentioned that, I probably would remember that if I was playing
Oh.
against you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might be in a bit different leagues.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right. You're playing that professional football, and I'm just down here in rural
Yeah.
South Australia, just in the mud with all the other boys kicking that ball.
Mob soccer.
So, my friend, did you catch up on much of the E3 news while it was about?
I actually didn't get to watch it.
No?
So,
Oh.
no, I did watch the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer
Mm-hmm.
because I was pretty interested in that. I made time for that. But, yeah, I didn't find enough time.
So you haven't caught up on any of the news at all since then?
Well, I've been listening to you two speaking.
Well,
Wow.
there you go.
Wow. So we are someone's looking into what happened at E3 with that. And someone
There you
looked
go.
at it. Wow.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
it's a good
I'll
accolade.
watch it eventually.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. There was a lot of cool stuff there, man. Have you you obviously listened to the show last week? Did anything pique your interest?
I think I'm going to be getting the new Mother 3 2. Mother 3. And
Yeah, I'm getting that too. I can't wait.
and probably Metroid Dread looks pretty interesting.
Yep.
Mhm.
And the Rabbids and Mario
Hmm.
or whatever.
Yeah, Sparks
Did
of
they
Hope.
give that a release date?
Just 2020 next year.
2022. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I'm also the wrong dates.
Yeah. He's living in the past, man. Don't listen to. He's hosted the show, but he's living in the past.
Yeah. Oh, I
Still in
remember the
lockdown.
day. Oh, so
Yeah.
good. Fucking old man.
Let's talk about Sparks of Hope then, real quick. This was obviously a big deal, and I don't know how much you sort of keep up with this, but the first one was kind of a huge deal because Nintendo has a history of not lending out Mario towards games that aren't sort of centric to what they want. So a collaboration thing between the Rabbids and Mario was sort of unheard of for a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Pretty unusual.
Yeah, it's really unusual. But the developer, David Soliani, he was like he was flabbergasted to work on a Mario title because that was like his lifelong dream as a game developer. He wanted to work on a Mario title. So this is sort of a huge undertaking to not only get a very successful game that sold, I think they said 7 million copies at the conference.
Yeah, they did too.
Wow.
Yeah. And it just shows that like he did an amazing job with this, and to get a follow up means that Nintendo sort of recognize that what he's done is like something pretty awesome. Have you had the chance to pick up the first one?
No, but I've seen plenty of gameplay from it. What
Mhm.
about that Cadence of Hyrule Crypt of the Necrodancer game? That one was pretty good.
Yeah, it did quite well, and I personally loved it. It was absolutely brilliant. But being that it came from an indie studio, it was one of those titles that sort of flew under maybe not under the public radar because it still had a lot of Zelda involvement, but
Yeah, it wasn't very mainstream.
yeah, that's right. And it didn't get like a full physical copy until later when the DLC came out and stuff like that. So it was mostly on digital storefront. Whereas Mario Plus Rabbids was sort of released everywhere. But Cadence of Hyrule was really cool too, man. And I kind of hope that they do lend more ideas to other developers for that kind of thing.
It had one of the best demos on the eShop, I'd have to say.
Yeah.
And as soon as I listened to the title screen music, I knew I was gonna love this game.
Did you play the original Crypt?
Yeah.
Yep.
I've 100%ed it as much as I could.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So you were a Crypt fan before then, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, I played a little bit of Crypt, but I never got around to completing it or anything like that. But as soon as I saw that there was going to be like a Zelda collaboration, I'm like, oh, this is just, this is going to be absolutely awesome. And I did not stop playing it, and I sort of absolutely smashed it all out in like the sequence of one night.
Yeah. Any game that sort of highlights music and putting that with Zelda, it's like, oh,
yeah,
yes.
it's magical. Yeah, absolutely. And it sort of just it fits the combat to its own centric as well, which is absolutely awesome. But I guess what I want to take away from the conversation is I'm glad that Nintendo is operating under this modus that they can sort of lend their ideas to other companies to make cool things now, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are you going to pick up the first one in preparation for the second?
I think I have to. Isn't it
Um,
like a story-based sort of game?
it sort of has story to it, yeah. But the good thing is that because it's not actually like a first-party Nintendo title, you'll find it on the eShop pretty cheap.
Well, it's really cheap at the moment.
Yeah,
It's like $15. $15 Australian bucks.
Yeah, it's really cheap. So that actually happens pretty often for the first game. And you know that game scored extremely well across the board. So
Yeah.
if you're
Wait for one of those 1 cent deals.
one of the 1 cent deals, if it went on a 1 cent deal, I think there'd be a lot more
Yeah.
people playing it because it was a hell of a it was a hell of a game. A lot of people were very taken aback. They thought it was going to sort of end out really badly, but it turned out extremely well.
Yeah, because at least before, it's like there's a Mario plus Rabbids collaboration and Ubisoft's making. It's like, oh my God, Rabbids. Like, they're like those minion things from Rayman. God damn it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
as soon as they showed the first trailer, it's like, this is a match made in heaven. Holy, oh my God.
This
it's
works
just,
really well. Yeah.
It just brings the more goofier elements of Mario out to the forefront. It's like, wow, this is fantastic.
Yeah, that's right. And like, especially like we sort of just said now, is that now that it's really cheap, anybody can pick it up and play it. And I think that's really important to it. But yeah, I guess if you are going to play the second, and now is more than a perfect time than ever to sort of pick it up. I think he disconnected. Yeah, he disconnected.
Oh, we lost him.
That's all right. Hit the button again. Wrong one.
That's all right. We'll bring. Wait,
There you go.
yeah, we'll see what's happening here.
He's coming back.
Who's
There
coming
he is.
Did you go through a tunnel in your car trip or something? Did you use the reception?
Something like that.
But anyway, man, what we're going to do is we're going to push on to the next person so we can wrap the show up shortly.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for coming in, and I really hope you end up enjoying Mario Plus Rabbids, because that, you know, for that game to get a sequel, I'm very excited for the developer.
Yeah.
David, he definitely deserves it. Very, very talented. You just remove yourself. Wow, you are a king
It
at
looks
this.
like I control the House of Mario now.
I actually can't see what button to press from here.
You. Oh my god.
So
All right.
can you see?
What have you done? Oh my god. Oh my god.
For a little bit, I was God.
Yeah, for a little bit you were. Yeah, this is like an experimental, since this is a new feature, so we're really sort of just pushing through now.
It's working well. It's just my screen's so far away.
Yeah, we need to move the screen closer when we're recording so we can look at it a bit better, I think.
Yeah, usually don't need it so much, but
Yeah, but now we're definitely gonna know if we're gonna use this feature. Because like, I mean, we were gonna do this with Twitter Spaces, but yeah.
yeah, it just this works a bit more cleanly.
For a
Yeah.
closing note, can I request more modding scene talk?
Yeah, sure.
Each episodes.
I'm always working on it, man. I love messing with my Wii U, and I love messing with my 3DS. Which is why I bought 2 new consoles specifically for the purpose. So you'll definitely hear more from me about it, especially now that with the Wii U, they have discovered a few more exploits that allow it to sort of come back further in the boot process, which is going to open up a whole lot of new things, akin to what they do with the Wii. So I'll definitely talk more about it in the future, man. I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, I love doing my 3DS too. Just all the cool stuff you can do to it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we'll definitely talk about it, man.
Nice.
Anyway,
Okay.
thanks for coming on, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for thanks for being a part of the
letting
community.
me
Really
know.
appreciate you being in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for what you do. Bye.
Thanks, dude.
No worries, catch you.
Right. Delfino
Yep.
was probably next.
Yep, we got 2 more people. We'll bring in Delfino,
And then Jamie.
then we'll talk to Jamie. Yes,
Yeah.
so let's go.
You're gonna hit the call button, my friend. Yeah. That's the one.
Hoi hoi.
Hoi hoi.
Hoi hoi. Now, do we need to
Hoi
give you an
hoi.
introduction, Delfino? You were just on the last episode.
I feel like I'm just a I'm one of those guest stars that's not even a guest anymore. I'm just on every other episode. What's going on?
Well, we've had a lot of compliments towards you for people that had listened last
know.
week. Should be. It's very nice. It's very nice of people to say.
Yeah, that's right.
It's very
I
true as
know,
well.
I'm eternally surprised because I'll listen back and I'm like, oh, I smacked my lips so many times. This is so annoying. Like I just trail off, I repeat myself, and then people go, no, you were great. That
Yeah.
was perfect.
Yeah, because the thing is
No, it's
like
not.
in podcasting, you need to be able to speak, and you can hold a conversation really, really well. So that really accredits to it. It doesn't matter about all the stuff around it. Podcasting is all about the audio and the talking. So because
I guess so.
So because you can hold a conversation, like people really find what you have to say enjoyable. So that's good.
I mean, it's my favorite topic, so of course I can find things to talk about it.
Oh yeah, and it's a lot. It's a lot of people's favorite topic. But at the end of the day, like when you are podcasting, you've got to be able to upkeep the conversation. Which I've had my weeks where I've fallen asleep at the microphone. It's been quite boring.
I wish we did that on video because I'm talking to Bryce, and back then we did it when we were on the opposite side of the table, and I'm talking, I'm like saying like I don't know what I was talking about. I'm talking, but I just see Bryce just like nod his head. I'm like, oh my god, am I that boring, Bryce? Jesus
No,
Christ.
I was just for some reason that day I just lost it. I crashed. I don't know what happened.
Your kids probably kept you up all night or something.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a legitimate excuse there.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sure
yeah.
there is.
Yeah, not sure what happened, but anyway, my fault or
That
something.
sounds like my sister and I, because when we did our podcast, which by the way is called The Super Show Saga, and it's on YouTube, it will soon be maybe on other podcast services. I got your PM, Drew. I got the message about it. Maybe putting it on Spotify and Apple Podcast. I'm thinking about it. Anyways, we decided when we were first recording episodes, we would do them in a big batch. And she's like, let's record 5 episodes. I'm like, that's a bit much. Let's just record 4. And by episode 4, we're like, this is a great episode. Our throats hurt and we're tired.
Yeah, was that all in
But
one
no,
day?
it's-
Was that all in one day?
Yeah, it
Wow.
was the giant sneaky lying episode to The Beauty of Cootie. Those were all recorded in one day.
Wow.
Yeah, Jesus. We've had
It's,
one.
it's a
I think.
mistake. Don't do that.
No, well, when we first started out, we recorded our first podcast that never ended up getting released. It was
Aw.
out,
yeah.
at the farm, and this was before the House of Mario.
This wasn't the
actually
House of Mario.
incepted.
This was just like, Bryce, let's do a podcast. Okay.
Yeah,
Put microphone down. Let's talk.
yeah, and we talked for 3 hours, and we were just stuffed. We couldn't hold a conversation by the end of it. And we're like, oh yeah. So we've always had this like 3 hour talk about Pokemon that we'd never released.
Yeah. It's on an old laptop now too.
Yeah,
Yeah. And we
Wow.
use that same blue snowball you got as well, Delfino.
yeah.
That's
that
what we
was
started with.
That was our
Yeah.
first recording mic. Yeah,
Yeah. Put it between us and blabbered some crap.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And now we are the podcasters you hear today, still blabbering crap, but here we are.
Mm-hmm. Just
A much higher production value about blabbering.
Well, I mean, we have the equipment for it now, so that's what it sort of comes down to. Like, if you're definitely getting into the podcasting game and you want to keep doing it, like investing in equipment is always a good idea.
It is.
I mean, we started off with the Snowball, then we moved into condenser mics like we have, and we were using a Scarlett, and then what was the Scarlett worth? Like $100.
The Scarlett was an audio interface where you just plug the microphones
Yeah, that's
in.
right. Yeah,
Because I was baffled that you couldn't plug 2 USB microphones into a computer at the same time.
yeah.
It's like, oh, didn't know that. So you learn a lot as you go along as well.
Yeah, that's right. And if you're ever curious about equipment, always seek help for that too, because if we didn't do the research, we'd be quite set back. But regardless of that, anyway, we moved on to the Rode, and the Rode's been like the best piece of equipment we've ever had.
Oh my God.
It's so handy.
It's beautiful. Roadcaster.
But I mean, 200 episodes in, like especially since it's Drew's investment, he's kind of like, well, we're making enough content now, so we'll be doing it under best professional standard we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty great to hear. that you guys are like still wanting to invest in it, even though it's not your full-time job. You still care about it enough to put money into it.
Yeah. I mean, it's never been about the profit or anything. We just like talking about Nintendo. So we never really had a problem with it.
Gasp.
How are you finding doing it so far? Have you moved to a weekly sort of recording schedule, or?
Pretty much. We will start getting guests on, but right now, the home, it's not exactly fit for having like recording right now. I'm very glad that we do have a backlog of episodes because right now, I don't want to go into it, but the room's pretty noisy, so I don't really feel good recording for a good amount of time when we might be needed downstairs or something. So
yeah, makes it harder.
right now we're kind of on hold, but episodes are getting released. I think one just came out like an hour ago. Yeah, it did.
Keeping track.
Yeah, I'll keep a track. I've got this. It's good.
You got it.
Got it. But on Nintendo Switch, they had a big E3 sale this week because like everything went on sale. So I was like, I'm gonna go get some stuff that's on sale. So I got Part-Time UFO, which is that game by HAL where that was just really fun. And also we have the music stuck in our head because it's the same song, but they'll remix it depending on where you are. So when you're in the beach, suddenly it's with calypso drums. Or then when you're in the museum, it's very hushed music, but it's the same. Ba, 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 ba. And now
I love it.
Peach and I can't stop singing that song. It's in our heads everywhere. And the other one I got was Murder by Numbers, which is that Picross game.
Yeah.
How did I sleep on that game? It is... I am absolutely floored by it. It's got good Picross puzzles. If you need a Picross game to play and you have Nintendo Online, I would say start with Mario's Picross because it comes with the Super Nintendo Online.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's got two types of Picross puzzles in it. There's Mario's Picross where if you chisel the wrong brick, it penalizes you, but it'll like tell you what the correct outline is for it. And then there's Wario's Picross, which he gives you all the time in the world, but he doesn't give you any hints. He's like, figure it out yourself. So
Very on
Murder
brand.
by Numbers is like Wario's Picross, but it's insanely fun, and the story really does grip me. They describe it as Ace Attorney mixed with Picross, and it really is. Because I'm just playing it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so invested in the characters. I'm just loving everybody. Playing it with Peach, and we're all voicing people. It is... How did I sleep on that game? It's really fun. So my recommendation for this podcast is to go play Murder by Numbers. It's really fun.
That's interesting because I've never heard of it until now, I don't think.
I remember. I remember Eric Zutch covering it, and because it was like obviously Murder by Numbers, and his podcast was Nintendo by Numbers.
Right. Yeah.
So it always reminded me of him.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Honestly, my only complaint against the game is that the title isn't great. You hear Murder by Numbers and you're like, nah, it's just some sort of nothing game. It's like, no, listen, it's really good. It's just crazy.
I'll definitely have
Reminds
to.
me of school, being in maths class, and be like, oh, just end me. That's what it's about. Someone's just so bored.
Murder by boredom.
Enough about numbers. It's like, no, it's more than the numbers.
It's the murder.
It's the murder, and there's Picross puzzles. Also, just the puzzle of solving a murder. That also goes into the puzzle aspect.
There you go.
Are you into Picross and stuff, Bryce? Is that your...
I've never invested time.
No.
But that's sort of just like because I've already got too much to play. Like
you can't invest in a puzzle game because it takes a long while.
Yeah, it's like the thing.
Take me 2 years to beat it, probably. No one me.
That's the thing with puzzle games is like at the end of the day, it is something that requires a lot of thought provoking and like using the mathematical part of the brain and sort of all that stuff. And you really want to get into it, but if you don't invest that time to sort of think, you're like, well, I'm not really getting out of it what I need to get out of it. But
Yeah.
my issue is that I play 4 different platforms of video games, and it's really hard to keep up with anything, let alone discovering new things. But I will have to give it a try sometime.
Yeah, I like that one. Honestly, I would say a good starter Picross game is on the DS, and it's actually on the Wii U because it was one of those few DS games that got a Wii U port. It's Picross 3D by HAL Laboratory. It might just be my favorite HAL Laboratory game, and that is including all of the Kirby they've made.
Wow,
'cause
yeah.
And Kid Icarus.
it's a whole different logical thinking way
Smash Bros.
of yeah, that is Smash Bros.
That's a big.
Fighting words, but it's a whole different thinking process than 2D Picross because it's in 3D and you're making fun shapes. And dang, those puzzles get hard. The music's good. It's all there. And there's a 3DS sequel, and that one's got a whole different logic process to it because suddenly they have rounded shapes, while Picross 3D is like cubed 3D shapes.
Cubioid.
It's a lot different. It's probably, I did play it. You have to have amiibo support for it, which I didn't have on my regular 3DS. So it's like, do I really want to hunt down a amiibo adapter just for Picross 3D?
Yes.
I'm like, no,
Yes.
not for round 2. No, but
Scalpers probably have them by the droves.
Just buy
Maybe.
buy
I'm
all
a
new
math
3DS
head,
just to scan amiibo into.
I know. Or was I like, maybe I'll grab Peach's 3DS because hers is the new, and then I'll like log into it with my account. It's like, this is so hard.
Yeah.
I will say that is a quality of life thing the Switch does is downloading other people's games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
It
it's
sounds like full on piracy, but it's not, I promise.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, I guess it's technically a console, so they got to do that. Whereas 3DS is like it's your personal device.
Yeah.
You'll never want to sign out of it. You can't, in fact.
Yeah. You could take it anywhere.
Yeah.
You don't need to. Yeah. But truth and reality is that we should just be able to do it pretty easily these days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty easy to do. Anyways, that's all I've been up to.
All right.
That sounds cool. I love it.
Yeah.
Murder by numbers. Everyone get on it.
Yeah.
Murder by numbers.
And one more time, plug your podcast. Let everyone know.
Yeah. So my sister Peach and I, we host the Super Show Saga, which is our continuation of watching all of the admittedly not so great Mario animated cartoon series.
What are you talking
right
about?
now,
It's the best.
yeah. Well, listen, it's the best in our hearts, but if we put brains only to it, it would be not good because
Yeah.
I'm so surprised how much stuff just slips through the cracks. Like I watch episodes thinking, yeah, stuff ain't too bad, but I'm always noticing the colors changing, just people being drawn all weird. It's like, dang, this is just no quality checking was needed. Or maybe they didn't want to quality check because they were too embarrassed.
Just wanted
But,
money.
yeah, we're on episode 6 today, so we update every Monday. Today's episode was called Princess Toadstool for President, which was a really... It's not even a very politically charged one. It's just, let's see who wins by kicking each other in the shin the most.
Yeah.
Let's win an electoral race by that. It's very weird.
I
But
think I remember the
that's
episode
on
you're
YouTube.
talking about.
I've got helpful visuals for you as we talk about it, but that episode is on my YouTube channel, just Delfino Durians, and then every 15th of the month, we go over a reanimated project because, I don't know, those are very near and dear to our hearts. Peach herself has actually been on reanimated projects. She's contributed to them, so
Cool.
the last one we did was for the Kirby Reanimate, which she did indeed do. And next month will be Mama Luigi Reanimated, which that's like the pinnacle of reanimated projects.
Mama
right there.
Luigi.
So, Mama Luigi to you, Mario. Is the best. Really is the
Beautiful.
pinnacle. So we'll be covering that on the 15th of every month, but every Monday we have an episode right on YouTube. I will see about putting it up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Honestly, the only thing stopping me from doing that is that I have a whole backlog of episodes, and to save space on my computer, I've been deleting each episode audio as I uploaded it. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to have to get those back.
Get a USB.
Yeah. Back
I'll
'em up.
figure it out.
If you need any help with it, you know who to call.
Yeah, I called Ruby because this is the one who recommended it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dead
Thank
on.
you for the guest appearance.
No worries.
One another week in a row.
No worries, our pleasure. Well, hopefully we'll be doing this every week, so whoever shows up
Can be on.
can be on.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is a decent time for you over there. Is it a decent time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that's all right.
For what?
Oh, just to be awake. I don't know if it's
Oh, yeah.
daytime or
I'm
nighttime.
always awake.
Oh, you're always awake. All right.
There you go.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock right now.
Delfino never sleeps.
No.
No, I do go to sleep, but I sleep like a grandma. I sleep at 10 p.m.
Yeah, right. Fair enough. I'm complete opposite.
You sleep like a grandpa.
What? No, I'm complete opposite.
Yeah.
I sleep at like 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, that's not healthy.
No. Well,
Nope.
when else do I get time with kids, man? That's
Yeah.
how it is.
Yeah, well, that is how it is.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway,
Mhm.
enough about me.
All right.
All right.
How do you kick me out of here?
I think you can just hit. I think there's a
Oh,
button. on the
I
bottom.
move over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
No worries. All right.
Oh, what a gem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, it's great to hear from her again.
Always good to hear from Delfino.
It's a lot of fun. This episode, I never planned to do like a big call-in segment, but here we are.
Yeah, but here we are.
It's great that people
good.
rocked up.
Yeah, I really like it. It's fun.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, that's what a lot of the show's foundation was built on when we first started, was talking to other people.
Yeah, community.
That's right. We like
Yeah.
talking to
So
people.
it's all about the people that play the games, make the games, not necessarily just the games themselves.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to bring on our last guest here, and he is the legendary Jamie Penning.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a part of our community for a long time. We really appreciate it that he's always around and supporting us, what we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
So, Jamie,
I'm going to hit the button for you,
we
man.
do.
Yeah.
こんにちは。大乱闘スマッシュブラザーズディレクター空野桜井です。
Yes, we are Sakurai.
Sakurai has brought on Jamie Penning himself. Jamie, how you going, my friend?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear
Can
you.
do, sir. Yes, we
Ooh.
can.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you going?
Oh, pretty exhausted actually, but yeah, not too bad
You-
otherwise.
You've been looking up all those Pokemon card deals to put in the Facebook group. You've driven yourself to exhaustion.
No, I only inform. I do not make the decision.
This is not financial advice, he says.
No, general advice only.
Just to pull everyone up, what Jamie has done to us, what he's trying to get us involved with.
Oh, I did not do anything.
Oh, Jamie, I don't know about that, mate. So after our last sort of Shining Fates pack battle, he put myself, Bryce, Dash, Brendan, and Dane into a Facebook group chat.
Mm-hmm.
And with that's where we share like our Pokemon card deals, like future packs we want to buy. You know, just talk Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't know if say Dane would have. I think he was pretty keen to like, you know, say I've got to save money. Like my kid's got to go to university eventually, for example. But now I don't know. I don't know if Dane's putting food on the table anymore because he's just buying Pokemon cards now. So
Well, he is now getting sort of more into the online thing now.
Yeah, which is probably more
It-
healthy for his addiction because he's usually one of the
Yeah,
front.
well,
He's usually one of the front runners to be like, I'm buying packs.
he's a front runner for saying no, I'm out. Then he's a front runner to come right back. So, oh, boys, I've got the shakes. I've got to get back.
Yeah.
yeah, I can't afford to buy packs anymore. It's just I'm broke enough as it is, so I'm sort of more into the online game now. And
Yeah.
I just I find that a lot more engaging. Like my Facebook feed is just full of Pokemon card deals and all sorts of sales that are going on. I can't afford to do. But,
Yeah, it's not a cheap hobby, and that's sort of the thing, right? Is like Pokemon TCG, while it is incredibly fun, and like I'm about to end my time with it too. Like come August, after this Eevee set, after I do a bit of exploration into that, I'm finished for a while because I have lots and lots and lots of cards. And it's time for me to sort of take a step back and I'm like, all right, I've got a collection of some really neat stuff that I've sleeved up, stuff that I want to keep and just hold on to for quite some time. I've got a lot of bulk there that I can make decks out of when I want to play the TCG. You know, it is time for me to push on. Yeah.
And I've got to be honest, like with the Shining Fates expansion, I really hit it hard because I wanted like as many of those cards as possible. So I ended up with 4 Elite Trainer boxes that are worth $100 each. I bought 4 Premium Collections, which is $75 each.
Yeah.
I bought like probably
$700 so far.
Yeah, I bought probably like 5 Mad Pin Collections, which are 3 packs each. They're about $30 each. So I spent over $1,000 on this like recent run of Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And I never got the Charizard. Charizard was like my chase card. I know it's everyone's freaking chase card, but I really wanted it. I wanted it just to get it and be like, I can stop.
Yeah.
But it wasn't happening, and I could not. And I was starting to get double ups and all this type of thing. I'm like, I can't do it anymore. Like it's actually depressing opening these packs. It's like, oh, I got nothing.
Yeah.
Especially like the last run, I got nothing.
Jack shit.
I got no full arts or anything. I'm like, oh, what the hell?
That's why I've spread my time over the course of a few expansions, so I'm not too dedicated into like looking at one set and being like, I want every card from this set or that set, because
that's the way to go. And I wouldn't be like that, but that shiny G-Max Charizard, I'm like, oh, I want it so bad.
Yeah.
But I gave up and I got all my code cards together. And I'm just bringing it out now for the people that are watching the video on YouTube. Like I've got like a stack of code cards. Like it is nuts. So I went through probably 300 cards, including codes that Brendan White didn't want. He put it on our Facebook group and I claimed them. I'm like, I've got to pull the Charizard.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's digital. Like the fact that it's digital, like it's nowhere near as cool. It's not as valuable. It's not as anything. But I just want to pull it. Just the excitement of pulling it. So I went through that many packs and I finally pulled it on the online trading card game. I'm like, I'm done. That is my satisfaction.
That is Charizard. And you got a Skylar at the same time too, which is interesting.
Yeah, I got Skylar in the last slot of the pack.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
oh my God.
Imagine if you had that pack
I got like 4 Skylars and I don't have one physical one.
No, yeah. I look at Wacko Jacko. He got one of them in like, how many packs? 10?
Yeah, Wacko Jacko actually says in the chat at the moment, anyone want a full out Skylar?
Yeah, I'll have the full art Skylar.
Yeah.
Yeah, give it to me.
He posted his unboxing on his YouTube channel, Wacko Jacko, and he's just like, oh, Skylar, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you got one of the like more valuable cards in the set.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it's a girl.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
and that
it's
just
always
seems-
the girl trainers that hit up the high prices.
Yeah, all the boys are like, oh, I like the girls. I want to buy them.
Jamie, if you went back to it right now, what would you be investing in?
Oh, from the like old sets or what current day?
So like current day, so I'm thinking like, you know, we've got Chilling Reign at the moment. We've got Battle Styles as well. Shining Fates is slowly sort of coming to an end. And then we've got in the future, we've got Evolving Skies as well. Sorry, I had to think about that for a second. And a 25th anniversary. So I guess card sets from this year, are you actually interested in any of them at all?
Mainly Evolving Skies. Like
Yeah.
it's looking to be one of the best sets of the year so far.
Yeah. And the Return of
Battle
Dragons.
Battle Styles was a bit hit and miss.
Mhm.
Like there are some cool cards, but it's not. It's more of a player's deck than a collector's set.
Yeah.
Same. Chilling Reign is a bit of both. Like there's a lot of playable cards in the set, along with the collectible ones like the Galarian Birds and the Shadow Rider and Ice Rider Calyrex.
Mm-hmm.
But Evolving Skies, I think we're going to have evolutions. You're going to have Rayquaza being that. There's going to be other dragons in there as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very popular set come August.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, Evolving Skies is definitely is definitely my next target as well. And I've got one booster box on order. I'm gonna hold on to that. I might get another one during my course, but after that, I'm done with it. I'm done with Pokemon. If it weren't for the fact that we're an evolution set, I would have quit already. But because it's an evolution set with a bunch of nice arts and stuff like that, yeah, like I wasn't gonna miss out on it. So. Evolving Skies and the Return of Dragons too. And I don't think that can be remissed either because we haven't seen dragons in Pokemon sets since Sun Moon. Yeah, it's definitely going to be cool for it to come back and and I'll have a good crack at it. But after that, because it's an evolution set, that's all I really care about personally. I think you got caught up.
Yeah, sounds like it.
That's all right. We'll talk more till he comes back. Anyway, yeah. So personally, yeah, that'll be my end.
I think I've had my end for a month. I don't know because I look at EB Games. I'm very tempted, but when it's like $200 a pop or like $80 for Elite Trainer box or even like individual packs, I just think
you went too hard on one set, man.
Yeah, I did.
That's the thing is like if you look at my collection, like a lot of the double ups I do have are mostly like holos, whereas like a lot of my V and V Max cards I have absolutely, and my rares for that matter, I have absolutely no double ups whatsoever. I like meticulously plan it so that I'd get as very little as double ups as possible. So I have like a collection of different cards. Whereas like with you and Shining Fates, like you went really hard on that and ended up getting yourself a stupid amount of double ups, including Toxtricities.
Yeah.
So I can understand why you're burnt out.
That was just in the one pack.
Yeah,
as well. That wasn't even just over time.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Yeah. But it's the same thing. Like with the booster boxes, I'm just sort of like Evolution, the Evolving Skies. That's a standard set as opposed to a collector's like special set. So. I'm more than happy to buy a booster box and call it quits because that's 36 packs. You know, that's plenty. I might buy a little bit more on top of it, and because it's a normal set, it's not going to be ridiculously hard to get. It'll be everywhere for a while. You know, I'll probably slowly just pick up some more packs, maybe try to fill out the collection, get a few more evolutions, and then at the end of it, just say that I'm sort of done with it after Evolving Skies. I don't need any more after that.
At least Evolving Skies is just a normal set.
That's what I mean.
Like, yeah, with Shining Fates, it's like having to buy in a Elite Trainer box or a collection, or the smallest thing you could get was the pin collections being $30.
Yeah, that's right.
With 3 packs. So it makes it a $10 pack, $1 a card. It's like very, very expensive.
Yeah, I know you won't get a lot of return on most of those cards too.
Yeah, so it is what it is. But the other day I went through all of my Shining Fates cards. I put them in order of the set, one another. So I bundled every single duplicate together.
Yep.
So it's all in order. It's all in the Elite Trainer box. It's looking nice. My OCD's finally
quenched
because literally I opened the packs. It made it look like a drug den, but instead of it was Pokemon card opens. So I just opened some cards. I didn't get what I want. Just leave the cards on the table. Go for my next hit somewhere else.
Yeah, that's it. Looks like Jamie's backed out. I guess kids popped up, which is okay.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks for joining in. If you're still listening, anyway, Jamie. Always good to hear from you, dude. Whether it be in Facebook chat or whatever.
Yeah, absolute legend.
Yes, he is. He's always been an absolute legend. That dear Jamie Petting of ours, beautiful man. But I guess to wrap the Pokemon card conversation up, Evolving Skies is my last dip, and I've made that pretty clear. Like that's my set. I want that set. I want one good evolution card. Hopefully, it's the one I want. You know, and if it's not, I'm not going to chase it. That's
what evolution card would be your ideal one to pull?
Umbreon or Sylveon or Glaceon, but one of the special art ones, and then I'll be happy. It doesn't have to be all of them. I would absolutely love to have all of them, but that is not
way too dangerous.
Yeah, one, it's way too dangerous, and two, maybe it's just because I already pulled a Charizard, but just watching people pull for Charizards, I'm just like, please don't. I'm like, this is no. I got my Charizard. It's slightly miscut, and that sucks, right? But I've got one. I can say that I've pulled a Charizard. I don't have to worry about it anymore, and that's why I didn't bother too much with that. Because Champion's Path in itself was a special collection.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I had my time with special collections before you guys jumped in with Shining Fates and did special collection there. I was hoping for the Rainbow one personally because I thought it looked awesome, but
Rainbow Charizard.
yeah, because Champions Path had two. It had the Shiny Charizard V, and then the Rainbow Charizard V Max.
Right.
I pulled the rarer one out of the two, even though I was sort of more or less looking for the Rainbow one because it was cooler.
It was rarer than the Rainbow one,
Yes,
it?
yes,
Right,
it is. Yeah, the shiny ones are rarer than the Rainbow Reds. But yeah, still, I pulled a Charizard. I got my only Charizard high I've ever had, and probably ever will have.
Yeah.
And
Have your kids showed interest in getting into Pokemon cards? I know
yeah.
they might be a little bit young because they might.
Oh, Arthur,
not really.
Arthur
Yeah.
carries some spare ones that have sort of just got sitting about every now and then. He carries them around. And
It's so funny because, like, you know, back when we'll say 5 or whatever, if we're doing Pokemon cards and we get like the Charizard, oh my god, and like we'll probably like just flap it around and bend it and just wreck it.
yeah.
But like these days, like if say you're like, all right, Arthur, here's a Pokemon card pack. And he's, oh yes, fantastic. He opens it. He's like being a kid. He's got his gravy all over his hands, being a kid. And then he's like, oh look, I got a shiny card and it's a Charizard. You'll be like, oh, I'll take that off your son and I'll put it in the picture frame and he'll never touch it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's like, what do you do as like parents these days? Do you take it away from him or do you let him keep it and enjoy it? Because it's like such a rare, expensive thing, but at the same time, it's a Pokemon card.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So what do you do?
Well, what I typically do is if the kids are showing interest or whatever at the time, and this feels a little bad to say, but like I will inspect what's in there first, because at the end of the day,
oh really? Okay.
yeah, like I'll let them, like I'll open it, and then I will sort of do the shuffle trick and then check the back, and then I'll give it to them. Does that make sense? Because if it is something that's going to hold value in the future, and if I ever need to like get rid of my collection, if it's, you know, whatever, like if I fucking run myself into debt or some crap like that, and I have to, like, I want those things to be in good condition, and to pull something that, you know, could hold a value of thousands of dollars later on in the future, you don't want to see that get ruined. So
have you had an instance where you're like, oh, I'll take that out, or?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not really. Like if it's a V card or something like that, it's not too bad. Kind of just like whatever. If I don't have a particular one in my collection, maybe I'll take it out if I'm interested. But if it's something stupid like a Greedent, for example, how many of those I got in Shining Fates, kind of just let my kids have them. Like I'm not too fussed.
Yeah.
But like if like I'll do the trick, like look at the back card, and if I'm like, whatever, because you know I have to open it for them anyway, right? So I'll do the trick. I'll go, you go 1, 2, 3, and then throw the energy, and then I'll sort of just like neaten it up, flick out the back card and see the edge. And if it's really sparkly, I'm like, all right, I'll just, here you go, and then they have a look through it themselves, and I hold on to it, because at the end of the day, they're probably going to do the same thing I did in the future. And like I look back and I look at my Pokemon cards, I'm like, I really should have just kept like really good care of those things, because, you know, they're an oddity now. Those old cards, they're really hard to get a hold of. And I regret, you know, not keeping some of the rarer stuff I had, because I had like holos and stuff like that I look at and I'm like, oh yeah, $200, you know. Just,
Would you sell them if you still had them?
Probably not yet, but just seeing how they creep up in value, like it's, you know, it's a huge deal. So I kind of want to do the same service for them. I kind of like, I want them to enjoy it, and I'm happy to sort of, you know, join in with them or whatever. But if I see a code card that's white, I'll check the back, and if that back is like there's something shiny, I'll remove it and then put it aside. And then if it's not too important, I'll let them keep it, and then I'll just be like, sort of, oh wow, you got like a really good card, that's cool, like if it's not important, sort of thing. But if it's something that's going to be stupidly expensive, I'll keep it aside, and they'll appreciate it in the future, definitely, because it's going to be hell of a lot more of an oddity in the future than it is now. I'll just say, look, I'm sorry, but I had to do it, because, you know, it's, you know, I regret not doing it as a kid, taking care of these things, and you probably will too.
Yeah. I was like, all my Pokemon cards, I've still got them. They're in good condition still because I was always that kid.
Yeah, but you never had siblings too.
No, yeah, definitely. I was, but I was the kid who have a coloring book and not color it in because I don't want to wreck it. And like my mum was like, Drew, because I got these magazines on like weekly or monthly. They were Rugrats magazines. So Rugrats around the world.
Yeah, I know the ones.
Yeah, every issue they would go to a different country, and that's how like I learnt a lot of my geography when I was a real little kid. And in the middle, they would have a couple of sheets, just like coloring sheets. It would also have stickers where you put in this passport when you're like going around the world. And I would never touch the stickers. I'd never touch the coloring in. I'm like, I don't want to wreck them. I put them pristine into the binder, never touch them. And it even got to the point where Mum's like, if you don't put these stickers in this book, I'm not buying them for you anymore. I'm like, oh, okay. So like, I did it just because Mum told me to. Otherwise, I wouldn't get any more.
Yeah. Because you wanted to collect them.
Yeah. So I was always just like, keeping them
very meticulous. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've always been like that, even with like my cards and that.
Yeah.
The same with like my game manuals, boxes, Game Boy Advance games, all that type of thing. I was always that type of kid, which is really weird, but
when I was a kid,
I appreciate it as a collector now.
Yeah, that's right. Whereas when I was a kid, I didn't really have that at all. Like my mum used to put my N64 game covers back to flat and keep them in a filing cabinet. Don't know where they've gone now, and I wish I knew, because she did keep them like organized for me, because she's just like, you might want them one day.
So I do, Mum. Where are they?
Yeah, where are they? We don't know anymore. I think she might have thrown them out.
It's hard because you guys moved a fair few times.
Well,
so.
that's right too. We moved a lot, so it was sort of like. But I remember like seeing my Ocarina of Time case and stuff like that all folded up in the whatever, and sort of I'd go and look at it sometimes or whatever, and I sort of just put it back and chuck it in there. But I wish I had those things now, and like if I don't sort of take those lessons I've learned about collecting those things from my childhood and keep a hold of them and sort of look after and take care of them, whatever, and apply that to my kids, who will probably be very much like I am and regret not holding on to things like that, then I'd be doing them a disservice.
Yeah. I mean, there's no point listening to your, in this case, there's no point listening to your 5-year-old kid saying, I don't care about my possessions that I hold near and dear to my heart right now when I'm 20.
That's right, yeah.
They've got no idea.
No.
Similar to like we had no idea as well.
Yeah. And I mean, like, with Evie, I sort of introduced the concept to her of like, I want to get her a binder so that she can actually bind her up some cards. But like, I said to her one day, I'm like, let's look through my collection, right? And I just made sure I kept like 3 of every, like if I had more than 3 of a card, like I just made sure I kept 3 of a card, because 3 of a card is a good number. It's what you want. Like in a deck, some cases you want 4 because you can have 4 maximum of a card. I just made sure that I kept 3 of like most cards, right? Anything that I had a double up of, I pretty much went through the entire collection, took any over 3 out, put them all up, and I gave like a deck size worth. I put some away because I'm kind of just like, that'll probably hold a little bit of deck value or whatever. But I gave her a collection of cards where I'm just like, all right, here you go. And I gave her a deck box, and she put them in the deck box, and now she's got a deck box full of Pokemon cards, right? But I would like to get her a binder so she can actually put them in there and sort of appreciate the value of looking at them in a binder and being like, wow, and then like sort of going back to that in the future. Like there was a something that I stuffed up really bad as a kid. I really wish I didn't, because it'd probably be worth a lot more now if I didn't fuck it up as a kid. But it was the Lord of the Rings pin collection. I don't know if you remember them from the Sunday Mail.
Oh yeah, so I do actually. Yeah,
I stuffed it up as a kid, and I was supposed to like open up the fold and like put the pin bit underneath so that it didn't pierce through. But as a kid, I didn't really think too much of it and just pierced it straight through, so it ruined one side of it.
Right.
But I was 5,
Oh yeah.
And my grandfather did it with me every Sunday while he was sort of staying. And then like when he left, he would collect them for me and bring them down for me and would fill it out. And I've still got that collection somewhere. It's in absolute tatters now, but like it is a good memory. And I want memories like that to be preserved, as opposed to like doing what I did as a kid and sort of stuffing it all up. But like, and I know there's like a joy and wonder in like discovering these things yourself when you're a kid and stuff like that. But I'm not saying that I'm going to prevent them from doing it forever. like opening their own card packs and deciding what they want to do with their cards or whatever, but I want to sort of teach them the value of like what these things can mean to you when you're older, because they're like a time that you're never going to get back.
Yeah, definitely. Like, if our parents had no idea about cards and collecting and this type of thing, like obviously they might have had something they collected when they were younger, but like the value of like these cards and what they can mean in the future and what they might mean just to them as they're older, they had no idea, but we do now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I guess we can pass it on, but at the same time not take the fun out of it.
And that's the other thing too, is like our interests don't differ too much to what kids would do these days.
Yeah.
And I mean, that sort of comes back to earlier when people are just like, Nintendo's for children. And I'm like, no, it's just something I've grown up with. And I think like as time has gone on and as generations have gone past, we've appreciated the value of what it means to still be interested in something for a long amount of time, as opposed to just chucking it to the wayside to, sort of move into a different pastime.
Yeah. Like you can look at it in the way where it's like, oh, it's cartoony, there's no swearing, there's no big, say, political themes or whatever in there. But you can look at it that in some ways, if you're playing Mario and it's great for your family, it's great for your daughter, whatever to play.
Yeah,
it's a lot better than say, oh, I'm a big man and I'm playing a game a lot of teenagers play. It's just shootings. Like that doesn't necessarily make you a man either. A lot of teenagers play, say, Call of Duty or
Fortnite. Yeah,
whatever. It doesn't necessarily mean you're an adult or a kid or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it just we're slowly getting used to that concept of everything doesn't have to be segregated into an age groups in terms of interest. And
I was thinking about this today actually, like with Nintendo, it's like, it is for kids, but it's also for adults. But it's not like we're watching Play School or something like that, which is like really for kids.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we're not just, because there's a lot of nuance to Nintendo games. It's not just like the colorful characters or whatever. It's not like literally watching like an educational thing where it's like, this is A. What starts with A?
Apple.
Aardvark.
Apocalypsis. I can't remember how to pronounce that.
I need to watch more Play School. They talk about that a lot on there.
Is it Apocalypsis? I think it is. Yeah, there you go.
You're telling me, my friend.
Anyway, yeah, this has gone on way too much of a ramble.
It has.
We really need that button, that tangent button, that tangent alert. Do you have that button?
Do I have the goose still?
Yep, there you go.
There you go. There's the goose. The goose is telling us to shut up.
Tangent goose.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much for listening to the House of Mario, episode 194. We're quickly approaching episode 200. Really excited about it. More plans on that to come. It's only a little over a month away, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I also haven't sort of brought this up recently, but I will be. You are going on honeymoon soon enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be taking charge of the show for 2 weeks. So I do want to put it out there that I've already organised something for those 2 weeks. And it will be a generation by generation discussion with a good friend of the show, Metadox.
Great friend of the show, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So it'll be generation v generation in both the senses. So we'll go through each generation of Pokemon as people who entered at different points in the different points of the series. I started at Generation 1, he started at Generation 5. So, and then we're going to talk about what we each get from each generation as sort of time goes on and where we see it, because there's definitely going to be different perspectives from the both of us, so it'll be interesting. But I do want to put it out there that if you have any particular love for a generation of some kind or what have you, as I get closer to the recording date, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of take comments, I guess, about particular generations. So if you have anything nice to say about your favorite generation of Pokemon, keep that in mind, because I'll put up something for you to sort of jot your things into.
Yeah. I mean, even just send it to Bryce on Twitter or something, in case you forget by then.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well. You can do that too. Yeah,
and Bryce will
Twitter
save it.
or Discord, and I'll save it somewhere. And yeah, because it'll be 20-minute discussion per generation, and then after that 20-minute discussion, of a 5 minute sort of reprieve, and then sort of just add in the comments there, and just
That sounds wicked, because I've only missed one episode of the show, and that's because I was meant to get my wisdom teeth out, didn't. but I just wanted to hear our show from the perspective of a listener. So I'm like, Bryce, just do it anyway.
No, you've actually missed out on more than one episode. Thank you very much. I did one with Dylan Blight, and I did one with Peachy.
Okay, so 2. Gotcha. Yes. Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
I really enjoy just listening as a listener. It's really weird, but
this will be
interesting.
This will be a good one too. I've got a format ready for it. I haven't talked more to Metadocs about it yet. But,
actually,
he'll be hearing it. He'll be hearing this. He'll be like, oh yeah. But yeah, soon, Meta. Soon.
Actually, I shouldn't listen because you never listen to the shows I do by myself.
I do sometimes. Thank you very much. It's just hard to keep up with podcasts. Like I've found an optimal time for listening to podcasts now, or audio content in general, and that is at work when I'm doing the drive-through shifts.
Gotcha. Yep.
Because I can chuck my earpods in, and then I can sort of just when I've got to talk to somebody, chuck it back in, and then whatever. And because most of the time it is me just moving around, it isn't so much interacting with customers. So optimum time for it. So yeah, I'll probably catch up on some of them at some point then.
Awesome. I like the fact that you listen to them at work too.
Yeah. I mean, it's the perfect time to do it. Really, I'm getting sick of listening to the radio with the same fucking 3 songs on. God bless
wireless earphones. Am I right? They're amazing.
I never thought I'd care about them as much as I do.
Oh, they're game changer.
They are, yeah. They're dead on game changer.
Game changer. All right, so let's keep wrapping up the show.
Yeah.
This has turned into such a long show. I was expecting a nice quick show, but all of a sudden it became a call-in show.
I mean,
it was awesome.
It was good though.
Yeah, it was awesome. Right. So if you'd like to join our Discord community, there is an invite in the show notes. And if you're feeling especially bloody adventurous, you can even join us on the show at 8 o'clock Australian Central Standard Time. We usually go live, record the episode on Mondays. So if you're on the Discord community around then, you're more than welcome to jump in. We'll pull you in when the time is right. So feel free to do that. And you can follow us on Twitter. You can follow myself at iDruby. You can follow Bryce at IVRevan. And you can follow us both on The House of Mario, at The House of Mario. And I've also got to give a shout out to our patrons, because I have not done that in such a long time. But recently I have sort of rejiggered the Patreon, since we have also launched a pilot for kind of a brand new show. Been trying to get it off for a long time. So I'd like to thank our Patreon producers, Alex Harding, Samuel Hay, and DJ. Thank you guys very much. Really appreciate your support over there. And you guys help us keep the show on air, help pay for the services and that we pay for.
Yeah.
That keep the show going. So really do appreciate that. It takes a lot of pressure off our backs.
That's right, yeah.
And the show that I've put into pilot is Cracking Furfies. Cracking Furfies, we've been meaning to do it forever. Bryce and I wanted to do it. It's sort of like a spin-off of us, cracking Furfies at the start of the show.
Yeah.
Which we haven't drank in a long time, actually. I think recording late, beer's a bad idea. It puts me to sleep. So beer's kind of a no-show for this show. But Cracking Furfies, it's a show where we sort of just have fun, enjoy ourselves, and bring up some news stories, and we've got to crack the Furfy. Which one's the fake news story? Mm-hmm. Wanted to get it started with Bryce. Bryce's bandwidth is, pretty short due to having kids and that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
life.
Life, exactly. So it took, all right, so let's find someone else to fill in the show. Obviously, Bryce is going to jump in whenever he can, whenever he would like to. Then I said, Daniel Treadray, would you like to come on and start the show? And sort of a similar thing happened to him. No kids or anything, but
he's busy, very busy.
He's very busy. He works in hospitality, so his hours are out of whack, and he gets a roster not very far in advance. So it's hard. It's been like a year, and so I was like, all right, let's try and keep things moving. But Ash Wallace will be my co-host on Cracking Furfies. Good friend of mine since high school. Good friend of Bryce's as well. Mm-hmm. And he came on a recent episode of The House of Mario about a month or so ago. And he really enjoyed it. Afterwards, he's like, that was so much fun. And that just sparked something in my brain, being like, I'd love to talk to Ash more. He'll be perfect for that show. And if he enjoys it, he'll be a perfect person to ask. So I asked him, and he was like, yes, he would love to. And he's like, all right, what do I need? I'm like, well, microphone, whatever. He already had most of it because he was been meaning to get into streaming. So I already had most of the equipment. Yep. But he needed a light. So he went and bought a light. So
Hooray.
Hooray. So now we can see his beautiful face.
Fantastica.
So yeah, if you guys like to check that out, there's a link to the private video in our Discord. I'll put that in there for you guys, and also on the Patreon if anyone would like to check that out. It's just a pilot at the moment. We're going to do a pilot for 3 episodes, work things out, work out the segments we want to do, just the general flow of the show. Then we'll be putting it on podcast services and YouTube after that. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
First pilot was a lot of fun to do. We're just talking shit really.
Yeah.
That's what Cracking Furfies is.
That's all it has to be.
It's a good time. Talk about whatever we like. Yeah. So, Bryce, that's it. That turned into a lengthy episode. I appreciate everyone who listens to this long. If you're still listening, put it in our Discord community. Hashtag Bryce is cool. If you're listening,
Bryce is cool.
Hey, look! I pay out Bryce a lot. It's friendly banter. I call him a goose. I got a goose button for him. On Dash Gamer, which we recently guested on, talking about E3, Xbox and Nintendo. I gave him some digs. I paid out his PC because he paid out my PC. We had a bit of banter going on. Oh, he's calling me a goose now. Yeah, look at that. He pressed that button, not me, everyone. But we have a bit of banter. But I genuinely love this man.
Oh,
love him very much.
Not true, man.
So I want you guys to give him a hashtag Bryce is cool, or love Bryce, or something involving Bryce.
Bryce is cool. We'll stick with it.
Bryce is cool.
Yeah, so it's all under one banner.
Metadocs will be like, oh, Bryce is a bloody legend. He smells like tofu. But guess what, guys? I'm vegetarian, so tofu's cool with me.
Yes, don't like that beef stock. No. Vegetable stock only.
No beef stock. All right. So the doors to the House of Mario episode 194 are closed. We'll catch you later.
Sayonara.